Welcome, everybody. It is episode 5 of the Polar Nerds podcast. I did dress as a woman, Carly. So we've got me tonight. You got Finimus, you got Wrecked, and we are joined by special guest over here on the top. This is Cerebral Asylum. Say what's up, Cerebral. So Cerebral has been kind of like my Twitch Yoda on my Twitch journey.
Nice.
He has been kind of my mentor in this, showing me kind of the in and outs of Twitch and things like that. And so I wanted to bring him on tonight and, kind of share his journey in Twitch and stuff like that. We're still going to go over the normal stuff that we do. Trust me, me and Rhett just got done watching episode 5 of Winter Soldier. So we'll be kind of going over that a little bit here in a little while. We'll do our normal Q&A, but we wanted to bring Cerebral on, man. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Absolutely.
No
Thanks,
problem.
man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
I know it was kind of last minute. I forgot all about it. And I was like, I know I talked to him about 2 weeks ago. I'm texting real quick. Like, hey, man, you want to come on?
Yep, I'm here.
So, Cerebral is a Rocket League streamer mainly. If you really want a good laugh, get into play Phasmophobia and just do fart sounds.
No, don't do that.
You gotta admit, man, that was a fun stream.
Oh my god, I feel like afterwards I was like at a rock concert. Like my voice was all hoarse the next day. I had to drink a lot of water and stuff afterwards because I'm not, I'm a big guy. I've been in the military, everything else. I'm not a guy that cries, but I don't like ghosts at all or any kind of freaky stuff. So whenever you start playing that, and in combination of being up for like 20 hours or so, that was great. That was really good.
Oh man, it was a blast, and having your son and your daughter-in-law join us, that made it even more fun because they were just right in on all of it. They were just enjoying it just as much as I was.
Yeah.
So let's start. Well, there's 2 questions we ask every guest that we have. Okay. Because one of the things you got to understand about me and Wrecked is, and that's why we get the name Polar Nerds, is because we are big nerds. We've known each other for 20 plus years, but the things that we nerd about are total opposites of each other. So where he likes Marvel, I like DC. Where he likes Star Trek, I like Star Wars. So the first question is Marvel or DC Comics?
Well, mine growing up was definitely DC Comics.
Nice.
Yes! Ah!
Nice.
Oh, I'm the big DC. I've got the Spider-Man that's just for Rex right there. This Captain America and stuff like that. And then we got my ego back here. But the other question we ask is Star Trek or Star Wars?
Crap. Probably Star Wars because I have never completed either series, but I've gotten further in Star Wars.
Oh,
I
nice.
one on both.
Wow. It's the little things that excite you, aren't they?
Yes, the little things. So tell us, Cerebral, how you got into Twitch, what got you started in this. You have almost 2,000 followers right now.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about your Twitch journey, man.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest. I know Dr. Disrespect and everybody else has been around for a really long time. I really didn't know about Twitch until there was an app on Xbox that I was playing, and I had to connect and things of that nature just for games. But I was playing around with it, and I was like, holy crap, I can broadcast this. And that's when I kind of opened up a little bit. But that was about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And I did it from here or there just to see if the app worked, kind of thing. But I really didn't really start taking it seriously until I started thinking, you know what, I can play a video game just as good, if not better than the average guy. So why can't I get on there and maybe make a little bit of money out of it, and have fun, make new friends, and have a community and meet great people. So I started off with a little shitty desk and one monitor and one Xbox and a Logitech 720 or C920. And I just went from there. So over 3 years, I've probably invested, I don't know, probably $12,000, $13,000 into this.
Oh, wow. So tell you kind of how me and Cerebral met. As some of you know, I do fiber optic internet installs. So I actually did Cerebral's install, and I was hooking stuff up, and he had some stuff hardwired. And I walk in, and he's got this huge setup. I don't know if you could change your cam so we can see your setup.
So
I'm sure I
we
can.
really got
so
your cam
so
on
if the
here. I
internet
don't want-
goes bad, do you scream
let's-
out venomous?
No, here. Hold on. We'll do it right now because I'm going to switch this other chat. Are you talking about through Discord? Yeah. Hold on a second. Yeah, let me go to.
So Cerebral has this awesome setup, and I walk in, and I see this, and I was like, "Are you a streamer?" And I mean, I've been talking for years about doing this, and I've said this before. And so he's like, "Yeah, man." And Cerebral's like, "You're what? A year older than me? I'm 42, you're 43." And I'm like, "Whoa, so there's Cerebral's setup."
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that majestic with all the lights and everything.
So it's really trashy over here because it's like a constant cleanup mess. So don't pay attention to the floor. But so I've got 5 monitors, one in the middle. I got the corners done. I have a gaming PC right here that's not on. I'll turn it on for you guys so you can see how fancy colors and shit it is. And then I've got a streaming server right here. And then I have an Xbox Series X behind that monitor right there.
Wow.
So, and a little man cave fridge, obviously. I got really thirsty recently, so it's empty.
Drank all that
There you
beer.
Yeah, I did.
So I see this, and he says, "Yeah, man, I'm a streamer," and we get to talking and everything else. That's what started me on doing this path. And when I met Cerebral, you were what, a year into streaming on Twitch?
Probably a year and a half, almost 2, something like that.
Yeah, and you've been on here what, 3 years now?
Creeping up on 3 years. Yeah.
Wow.
That is awesome, dude. I mean, that is awesome. Cerebral has been a big supporter of me. He's come into my chat. He is awesome. He is awesome, and he's engaging with his community. So tell us a little bit more about, you joined Twitch. And I know I'm trash at Rocket League, but you're better. But you're always telling people I suck too. So
Well, that's the difference, really. That's the main reason why I like Rocket League is because unlike first-person shooters or just very action-packed games, not necessarily story-based. I've always been like a guy that plays Call of Duty, first-person shooters. That was my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And an old friend of mine started playing Rocket League, and I'm like, "What in the world are you doing? You're playing soccer with a remote control car, basically. Like, this is about the dumbest thing in the entire world." And then so I started playing it because he was playing it. We were really good friends, and we would go around and just suck together pretty much. But then once you start learning the mechanics of the game, once you start learning the combinations of buttons that do certain things in certain ways, you realize it is a very, very complex game. So if you get beat by somebody, you're not as angry as you would be, say, they got a snipe shot they can never ever do ever again, but you're playing a 5-minute game, and if somebody is better than you, then the best thing for you to do is, well, obviously you're going to try to win, but you can also learn from the people that are playing that are better than you and say, okay, well, he flipped off the wall this certain way. I got to go to training and figure out how in the world he did that. I didn't know you could do that. And you just kind of grow from there. But, I started with me and a handful of friends, and we all still play together, and we've all ranked up together. So it's one of those games that you're just very appreciative of the other person if they do beat you.
Now now you said those other friends, that's like Bios and Motley and Bubba Jiggles and
Timmy, BD the Weatherman. Yeah. I've known Timmy and BD and a couple others for 5-6 years probably now. So I mean, we talk on and off this thing. We play video games together. We help each other out when we can, that kind of stuff. So building a community, it's great. This is a 21st century. So it's hard to actually meet friends like we used to whenever I was a kid. I'm 43 years old now. The majority of things are on the internet, and it's just really easier this way. And hell, you can't get COVID. You don't have to wear a mask. So
yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
One of the things, so like I said, Cerebral was one that got me started on this. Hey there, Alan. One of the things that really helped is Cerebral's his community. Wow, you just got 5. Dang,
Oh,
they
holy
are popping
crap.
off, dude.
I don't have my alert
Watching
sounds on either.
Oh man,
Oh, there it goes.
there
Nice.
goes Bubba. There goes Bubba. Is his community. Now his community is one of the coolest ones I've ever seen. Because all Cerebral has to do is say, "Hey, this guy here needs some follows. Go follow him." So that was what really got, because the first, I think it was the first night that I streamed. I told Cerebral that, "Hey man, I'm going live, dude. I'm going to do this." I had, I think, 10 followers
Oh wow.
within like an hour. So, and I know Cerebral streaming this. So you guys watching, you look over here, it says Get Wrecked Nerd 0629. Go to his channel. He needs 5 more followers. We're trying to hit affiliate. He
Yeah.
has been streaming since I started streaming. No, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whichever
Yeah,
way.
one of these ways. Follow him. He's 5 away from the 50. So you guys are watching this on Cerebral Stream. Hit him with a follow, guys.
Holy crap.
Wow.
You guys are
Good
great. Thank you.
Lord. Did they just do a hype train? They just started a hype
Nice.
train.
Yeah, they did.
Good
Level 3
That's
hype train.
fantastic.
Is it cool if I put his link in your chat there, Sreeb?
I don't care. Yeah, go for it.
Oh well, thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So, anyways, so tell us more a little bit about your Twitch journey. Because I know you've Premier Gaming is the clan that you're with and everything. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So Premier, they have different ranks within the Premier itself. So they have like the upper ranks of the professionals. They have professional players, mainly COD. I think there's a Call or a Rocket League guy too. But I kind of fall in the middle of it. You know, it's more hours of streaming versus kind of rank you have versus followers. You know, there's an algorithm that goes along with that. But the main thing about Premier is they're very accommodating to different things, and it almost feels like a family. You know what I mean? Like if somebody's having a birthday, you know, you're probably going to have a level whatever hype train because everybody's going to go in there and throw $5 at you or $10 at you for your birthday. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really good. It's basically like a tighter knit community that you would have on Twitch.
Yeah, and the Premier Discord is awesome. They have the community nights, things like that. They're really something else. I have not really been part of a community that has been quite like Premier as far as Discord.
Well, I can't remember the number and I hate to quote it, but I know it was very, very low. But as far as groups that are together, like in structure like Premier, I think we're the top, I think it was 5 or top 8 on Twitch.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
it's somewhere around there, but I don't want to lie, but I remember it wasn't more than 10, and I remember it was closer to the middle somewhere. So,
Wow.
Awesome. So,
Oh wow.
you're also former military, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And that's part of the thing with his logo is if you notice the green stripe in his logo, it that stands for it's support of the U.S. troops, correct?
Yeah, military appreciation. That's what it stands for.
Military appreciation, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something real big with your streams is military appreciation and things like that. It's always the grind is real, hashtag US vet, and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit what you did in the Air Force.
So I was in the Air Force from 1997 to 2001, and the entire time I was a C-130 crew chief. Bye-bye. I was a C-130 crew chief, which means I was an aircraft mechanic. If you've ever seen an Army Marine movie, chances are you've seen troops jump out of a plane that's got 4 prop engines. Looks kind of like a fat turd going through the air with 4 prop engines. That's the one I used to work on. So, I was an aircraft mechanic, and, I got to serve all around the world. In 4 years, I have almost 500 flight hours. And to put that in perspective, you could fly in a C-130 from here to Bangor, Maine in about 4 hours. So I have almost 500 hours in the air. So,
wow.
All right. Well, I've been kind of dominating this so far. So, Rex, you got anything, man?
No, I'm just sitting back listening. Like that's wow. I So first of all, thank you for all of your service, and
Oh, thanks.
I actually am not. I don't think I've followed you yet. So, but I will be following you.
Oh,
And
well,
I
thank
just got because of you, just got two followers myself. So I'm
Good,
three
good
away
deal.
from there. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No problem. No problem.
Put you
Um,
3 away. That's 3 away.
Three.
Cerebral's chat. I know you guys are there because I'm watching your stream.
I forgot.
There's
to, now
Cerebral right there.
He only needs 2 now.
Yeah,
2?
Yep.
2.
two
Two
away.
people.
Thank you, Cerebral. I
Come on, let's
appreciate
do
that.
that 50 tonight, man. Uh, so, tell us about when you made affiliate.
Oh man, yeah, affiliate was a hell of a grind. Now, I was kind of I already had in my mind if we got to this, I was going to share the knowledge that I've had along this journey because I did it the hard way, just like many other people have struggled. And because you have hopes and dreams of doing this, and then once you do finally get the numbers and you get the average views and you get the followers and you get the hours streaming and you finally do it, now you have to keep doing it until it makes $100. You know, so and then once you get the $100, you get your first paycheck. So even the grind all the way to it sucks, and then once you make it, it still sucks because you haven't seen any rewards from your journey. But it took me probably 5 or 6 months probably to get affiliate. And once I started building a community and I realized that I could help other people and vice versa, it's not just me. There's a lot of my friends that we all kind of do this. I mean, you're watching it happen right now. Right? People are going to other people's chats and hitting follow and things of that nature. So what we kind of came up was with a system. If like say, if one of you guys is trying to get affiliate and your average views were really low, right? So your average views are low, you're busting your ass and you're really trying to get somewhere and you can't get more than 2 people. And those 2 people are your wife and your neighbor.
Yeah,
right?
that's usually
So-
who watches my.
Right. Or if you really want to cheat it up, you get your cell phone and you log in over the air, not your home Wi-Fi, and then get another account and go on that way. I've seen people do just about everything from follow to follow. I mean, everything. And that's a big no now. You're not supposed to do that, but it still happens. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the followers are they're a marker. They're not a judgment, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I have known lots of people with a crap ton of followers because they did either the follow for follow or they have a really good network, but there's not a whole lot of people dedicated to actually watching you. So those numbers are illegitimate because it's not reflective of what your community actually is,
Yeah.
Yeah. That is, and you have been a real big help to me. You mean you gave me tips that helped me along when I was trying to get affiliates. Like one of the things that you told me, and I stuck to it the second you told me, was don't stream more than an hour when you're trying to get affiliate.
That's
because
right.
it helps with your views.
That's right. You have to treat it like a job. I mean, we're all a bunch of nerds and like playing video games.
Yeah.
That's why we're watching this go and everything else. But we don't even need a nerd anonymous. We'll greatly show everybody our details.
Right. Absolutely.
But if you're going to try to make this into a job, you're going to try to do this. And I'm not saying the viewers you have and the followers, they're not appreciative and you're not appreciative of them, but at the start, you have to treat it like a job. So you tell everybody, hey, I'm going to get on 1 hour every day, and these are the days it's going to happen. And in hoping that that's what's going to happen. It doesn't hurt either that if you're low on views, if you have a network like people on Discord or your cell phone or something to let people know, hey, look, man, what times do you stream? And if they say, I get off at 8 o'clock, say, hey, do you think at 8 o'clock you can jump your people over to me? I'm really getting a little bit low on this. And if you're a big wig streamer and you've had 1,000 people, they're probably not going to listen to you, or nobody, because they've already established. But there's a lot of people that have 10, 20 viewers that would gladly, if they think and they trust that you're going to be good to their people and you're going to be entertaining, that they're going to throw those people to you. And the whole thing is about just networking. It really is, to be nice to people and courteous and help people out. It's like exact opposite of what life is really about. On here, it's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I was saying, I think last stream or a couple streams ago that, like, go, even if you're, I don't know, established or whatever, go support those little guys because they need the help too, Like it, and plus you never know who's streaming and having a rough time, and you just going following them or saying hi in the chat, it's just going to turn it around for them. You know, like
Yeah.
sometimes people, I think, are on here like you're saying because with COVID and all that, and they don't have a lot of interaction. So I don't know, maybe just saying hi or hello or hanging out for 5 minutes in the chat can really turn someone's day around. So
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
I've had those nights where I haven't had any, interaction in my chat. I'm playing. I feel like at that point I'm playing for myself. I'm not playing for any, I'm always, watching. And then all of a sudden my alert widget comes up. So and so followed, or somebody hit the subscribe
Yeah.
button. Or I have Firebug or Nyx or Rasha pop up with a freaking jump scare while I'm playing or something like that. And that then ends up perking me up because now I know I've got an audience. I've got somebody to talk to. I've got somebody to play with.
yeah,
Or there while I'm playing, and it brings me up. It brightens me up. Then I start. Then if you watch my streams, that's when I start getting more active.
yeah. It was like when we were all kids, and everybody'd be in your room like playing the Nintendo. Like he'd be hyping you up when you're doing good, and oh man, okay, it's your turn next. Like that's how it kind of is. To me, that's how Twitch is. It's like your buddies all come and hang out and watching you play video games and talk to you while you're doing it. That's the way it used to be. So
Yeah, and Cerebral has been, like I said, you men have been such a big help to me, such a big help, showing me ins and outs that I didn't know about that I've passed along to like Rect. I passed along to Rasha. It's one of those things with this community. You take what you've learned, and like you said, you pass it on to the next one.
Yep.
So to me, there's nothing really I can say to thank you enough for what you've done for me.
Well, it's okay. This is what I would like. I mean, I don't believe anybody in life should have to do something in response to what they get out of it. That's the problem. That's a lot of the problem with society. How's it going to benefit me?
yeah,
And what I feel like is I remembered the struggles and I remembered the things like, man, if I knew this, I would have done something differently. So I love giving pointers out because I don't want anybody doing the same crap as me. I don't want somebody sitting here grinding and for 5, 6, 8, 10 months and finally get affiliate and then nothing happens. And I've also had a lot of people that wanted to get into streaming in the high hopes that they're going to stand out. And the reality of the thing is they're not. It's the fractions of people that have this as a job. You're talking maybe 2% of how many million people are on this. So the reason to get into streaming is because you enjoy people, you enjoy playing video games, you enjoy spending time together. If you go in thinking that this is going to be your job, you're going to fail. You're going to give up on yourself. And somebody a long time ago, and it just came off the hip, I don't know, but they said something about, well, I'm going to get into streaming and I'm going to make it big and everything. Like you. And I said, well, I've not made it big. I've just been here long enough to make friends. And that's pretty much what it is. But I told him, I said, if you think that you're going to make it in here, I'm going to give you a plastic spork and tell you to cut this tree down. And I can't phase that enough. Don't go into streaming or anything you're going to be doing on Twitch or anything for that matter. Just know it is highly diluted. We're all grown men. We're all, we have all done and made lots of mistakes, and we're kind of hopeful, and maybe this will grow for us, right? But absolutely. You have to understand that there's a lot of 14, 15, 16-year-olds that only want to do it, stream with their friends, once a month. And so that delusion that's happening within Twitch is what's you have to rise above that. And that's the reason why you see this Star Trek crap behind me and everything else is because the whole part is you making your own brand. If people wanted to watch Rocket League, I'm a drop in the bucket of water. Tons of people. Yeah. So what I try to tell people when they first get off the streaming is before you do anything, buy yourself a camera, because no one is going to be watching your gameplay for a particular amount of time. People go to watch the streamer. They have a relationship with the streamer, not because you drive a nice car on Rocket League or anything like that. They want to hang out with you. So the best thing to really jump off and do something positive right off the bat is to get you a cheap web camera, put yourself out there and show them who you are and interact with them on a personal level.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. It's like you said, it's you've got to get personal with your chat and the people who follow you, who subscribe to you. Um, I mean, you and I have become really good friends, I think, over the course of me streaming, and you're like the only person I never get trouble calls from. So
I just know unplug and reset. You know, that's what they always say to do. I do that first.
I always
That's
used
'cause
to have
that's
those.
because my user
I always
install.
used to have those customers who would just call me directly and be like, "Hey, man, I just have a quick question." Like, so
Yeah,
instead of
I've gotten those texts from Cerebral. My internet's down.
yeah, hey,
I'm like,
you're
and usually it's usually the text back is so is everybody else.
yeah. No, it's your fault. It's officially your fault if the internet
Yeah,
goes down. That's
yeah.
how it is.
You talk to some of my customers, yeah, it's usually my fault.
Oh, I know.
I'll be slamming their doors and making their kids scared, but
Yeah, I
'cause
believe
I'm
you. I believe
yeah.
you.
So, God, I've run out of questions now already. Uh, so a lot of what we do on here at Cerebral is we just talk about nerdy shit.
Yeah,
So our stream,
comic
uh,
books, TVs,
comic
movies.
books, TV, movie, yeah, TV. One of the big things I'm excited about, and it is gaming related
Yeah.
and movie related, is next week Mortal Kombat, the movie, the new movie, the reboot, drops on HBO Max. I am so
yeah?
excited for this. So excited. And what does that look for, Rect?
I didn't know it was coming out.
Yeah, they're doing a total complete reboot of Mortal Kombat.
I mean,
A
I knew
more-
they were. I didn't know it was coming out yet.
Yeah, it's drops on the 23rd.
So,
So
so some other stuff that's going on. Gaming news. I don't know if you guys like to play these kinds of games, but I do. So, Total War Rome 1 remastered drops, I think, on the 29th of this month. So that's
really?
yes, that is one of the first Total War games that I ever played, and it's awesome. So, but that leads me to, if they're gonna remaster Total War 1 or Rome Total War 1, everybody wants them to remaster Medieval 2 Total War, and that's the one that made the most money for them. So they're thinking if they do good with the Rome Total One remasters, they're gonna remaster Medieval 2 Total War, which opens up a whole lot of because it was one of the last games that you can mod. So
Yeah.
and one of the mods I play is from
Lord of the Rings.
yeah, it's Lord of the Rings mod, but it's for Total War Medieval 2. But if they remaster it, they can make the game even better. So everyone's super excited. I mean, everybody in my little community.
Speaking of Lord of the Ring games, I saw this today on my Facebook feed. They were supposed to be coming out with the Lord of the Rings MMO
Oh,
that Amazon was putting out, and this has been a real big thing here lately. That got canceled today by Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon canceled it. They're like, nope, sorry, we're not doing this.
yeah. The problem they have with Lord of the Rings games, and this is why like if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you've been screaming at Total War to just make a Total War Lord of the Rings game. Like that's what the fans have been wanting, and they just won't. They won't touch it. It's because all the copyrights are so tough, and dealing with the timelines and trying to please all the nerds is just impossible. So
Yeah,
most of
well,
them are just like,
anything.
nope, we don't even want to
Well,
touch that
look
with
at
a
Star
10-foot
Wars.
pole.
Look at Star Wars. Look at Star Trek.
Yeah,
Look at Marvel. Look at DC.
yeah,
Anything you do nowadays is going to get the nerds riled up. They're going to get us riled up.
yeah,
Oh, you don't take this. You don't take the red underwear away from Superman.
yeah,
You know, you know, you can't have this. You can't have that. You know, it's something always you can't have right. But I mean, like the Star Trek movies, they did the Chris Pine movies, and
Which
those
I
were some of
liked.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Those were some of my favorite Star Trek movies.
I liked them.
I
So, Cerebral, what are some of the old school games that you used to like to play? Like, I've been playing on my streams lately. I don't know if you remember it. It's Shining Force 1 for the Sega Genesis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've been jamming that one out. Everyone seems to like that. I think I'm gonna jump on Chrono Trigger next. But I like I like to bring back some of those old school games.
Yeah, I remember as a kid playing like Pole Position and
Oh, yeah.
Cubert and Excite Bike and
Yeah.
Pitfall and Pac-Man. I mean, just all of those old ones. My problem now is I get stuck with a game. Like
Yeah.
I'll play other games, but I get hung up on a game, and I want to be the best I can at it, or at least get burnt out by it. So, but if there was a retro game, I think if I played now, it would probably be the Call of Duty 4. That's not
Nice.
nearly as retro as that, but the Call of Duty 4 was
Yeah.
the first franchise that they actually went from Cold War to more modern guns. And so you could use an M4 and things of that nature, use tactics and grenades rather than Molotov cocktails and all that stuff. So I really enjoyed that game. But then obviously, like other games, as it gets older, it gets less and less support by the creator. And then you start getting hackers. So now if you play it, you don't know if they're out of the map shooting you in the map. So it's really hard, but it would be really neat to have like an old school LAN party and get people together and play
Oh yeah,
everything.
yeah, that'd be cool.
I remember them. I remember those days having like 4 TV monitors, 5 TV monitors hooked up into a room, having all the consoles wired together.
Yeah. The
You
amount of
couldn't play on
electricity.
you couldn't play on one
Just-
screen because quit watching me. Quit looking at my screen, man. Quit looking at that. Quit shooting me. I know you're sniping me because I can see you over here sniping me. You know. So you had those old school LAN parties with like 5 different computers wired together on the same phone line.
Mm-hmm.
we used to do that with Halo, and everyone used to invite me because I suck at Halo. I mean, I'm not very good at first-person shooters. I've just never been good at them. So they're like, "Yeah, come on over. You can be on their team." Oh, come on, guys.
Well, thank you. I just had someone buy a shirt. White Tiger, thank you so much. For
Oh,
buying the
man,
shirt.
awesome.
Appreciate you.
I would have wore mine tonight, but I had to put it in the laundry because I worked for like 3 days straight. So.
That's it.
I try to find.
The third day, my wife's like,
I-
"You need to change shirts."
I actually tried to find yours before this, and I think my son stole it. I don't know.
Nice.
It wasn't in my closet, you know. So I've got 16-year-old boys and stuff too, and I think one of them was like nabbed it, or I don't know. So I got to try to figure out where it's at.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god! Like I said, that's fourth day. My wife's looking at me, going, "You need to change your shirt." I'm like, but she's like, "No, you need to put on a different shirt." I was like,
It's called
Well, you know-
branding, okay? It's called branding.
my favorite kind. The reason why I made it the way it is because my favorite style are like grunt style, 9-line. I like the military-esque shirts. You know,
Yeah.
I've had a few girls say like, "Oh, those are douchebag shirts." Well, I guess I'm a douchebag. So I support those guys, and I've got my whole closet's full of them. So I thought, if I'm going to design a shirt, I think I'm going to try to do like the whole flag on the shoulder and everything. So, and we're all nerds and it's cool.
Yeah.
But on the outside, some people are like, "What the hell's that grown ass man wearing that thing for?" It's got some anime figure on the front of it or something. This makes you look outdated. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
So,
"Yeah, it's not better than a purple controller with Venom legs and a PG behind it." Yeah,
no. I just wanted something that was similar to what I normally wear, and
Yeah.
so whenever I made it that way, so I've actually talked to my wife, and I don't know why, but I have a knack of like designing shirts and stuff. I've done it
Oh,
for
nice.
a while, and so I thought about just like doing that on here, like make different kinds of shirts and different sayings, kind of like 9-line and things of that nature did. And I don't know, it may be something to pop off and do on the side, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
you know,
that'd be cool.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
Now your wife streams too occasionally,
But-
doesn't she?
she used to.
Used to. I know she
she's
still games with you occasionally. I've
yeah,
been,
sure.
I've been on seen streams that she games with you.
Yeah,
And
she'll
she talks
she'll
just
jump
like
in.
trash that you do.
Oh yeah, well my wife she's definitely amazing, and she's a little bit scary at times. But let's just put it this way: if she started fighting, I would probably be the one get my purse and start the car. You know, so
Nice.
so but no, she did a game, and I got her a system and a camera and everything, and she played. But she doesn't have like the attention span or the to stick and just keep playing a game. So when she plays a game, she'll play it for 30, 45 minutes, boom, it's off to something else, so yeah, she'll play that. She's really big into stuff like Sonic the Hedgehog,
Oh, yeah.
Pac-Man. She likes the old school like Sega-esque kind of thing.
The retro type.
My
As a
wife
kid,
loves Spyro. The Spyro, the Spyro
the
series.
Dragon?
Yeah.
yeah.
She loves that game. I mean, I couldn't stand. I mean, but she loves it. But she's the same way. She'll play for 30 minutes. Boom, she's done. That's it. She
Right.
doesn't have. Yeah. Me, I'm like 6 hours into the game and staring at the computer.
twitching every once
Right,
in a while.
all wild-eyed.
Hey, there's one other thing that I forgot to mention when we were talking about Twitch that I'd like to. So, like I said before, it's a network thing. It's about building friendships and stuff. But I want to put the raw truth out there. I was going to add that later or earlier. I mean, but it's putting your responsibility as a streamer on others. And what I mean by is you need to be different. You need to be you. You need to be something somebody wants to go watch, right? So that is a direct line between you and your community, and that's it. So if I raid someone, or somebody drops, let's be realistic. If somebody dropped 200 people into my room, what do you think the percentages of those people are actually going to come back and watch me? Probably one. So that's the reality of things. I mean, it's great to support each other by dropping people off, and you get more follows and things, but this streaming gig that we all try to do, it's a very direct approach. Even though you have friends, it's kind of like when you die, you're going to go to heaven, nobody's going to be cheering you on saying, "Oh, Steve was great." And not, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you go there, you have to face what's going on. So I talk to a lot of streamers and have throughout the years, and that's what I try to tell them. It's great to have a relationship and things, but don't rely on other people, to give you follows or to give you attention. You need to make your own attention.
Yeah.
You need to connect with other people, and that's what it's about. And the whole rating someone or something like that, that's just showing you have a great community. That's not necessarily going to make you grow. That just shows that, hey, I've got people in my corner.
Yeah,
So.
I've definitely got my few select ones that when I'm done, they're the ones that when I go to look, say, oh, okay, who's on right now? They're the ones. Okay, there's so and so, there's Cerebral, there's such and such. That I'm looking for their names first, because they're going to be on the top of my list of people I'm going to raid.
Right.
Whether I've got 2 people or whether I've got 50 people, I'm going to show them my love, because they've supported me in one way or another. They've shouted me out. They've, when I come in, they are not, oh, hey, what's up? And then I chat in their chat to them, and they don't respond to me. It's the big thing for me. If I'm watching you and I'm chatting in your chat, it's kind of, hey, I'm here to support you. Say hi, or talk to me a little bit. Don't just, oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah, I think that it also kind of reinforces you with your fan base as well. So if you had someone large that had 50 or 100 people and they rated you, the people that were originally watching you are going to think a little bit higher of you now, because, oh, he knows them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. You kind of get a little, I don't know what I would call it, street cred, but that's kind of what I'm trying to.
It's like a little
Twitch cred, little Twitch cred.
Yeah. So, that's the horror of this is you have to build your own community. You have to use your personality. You have to use your friendship, and if you're a good person, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully people want to watch you. Even for 5 minutes, but they turned it on for you, not because you were rated by so and so. So I've learned that valuable lesson. I've lost lots of friends before I started thinking about, like, it isn't my responsibility, because I'm not going to mention any names. I'm still friendly with them, but I have a first badge in their chat.
Finimus.
No. That's right. Honestly, so I have a first badge. That means I was the first 10, 15, 20 people, something like that, to go on their chat.
The
Um,
founders badge. The founders.
yeah, the founders badge. So I actually got TeamViewer and I logged into her computer and I fixed her OBS the way it was supposed to. I was showing her lots of things. I mean, I'm hacking into her computer, moving her mouse, showing her like, hey, this, right? If she turns her camera on, she's going to have over 300 people now. And I was really burnt before I started looking at it in the direction that I just explained, because here I am, this guy that's got 4 or 5 dedicated viewers that come by, and I'm just helping this random person out. We became friends, and then what? Now she's got 300 people surpassing me and never throws my name out there. And of course, it chapped my ass. It really did. And I don't think anybody thinking logically it would be different. Everybody would be a little bit hurt, like, hey, man, you don't remember the little people. But then I started thinking, like, you know what? That isn't about that. I'm glad. I'm grateful that she is where she's at, because she made it. She's making us a very nice secondary income. And so I started looking at what she's got, and she came in my chat during a 24-hour stream, and I was bragging about her then, and a year ago I probably wouldn't have. But she came in my stream, and I started really thinking, I've been here streaming a lot, and her main thing is, and I don't know how she does it. There's times that I've had 70, 80, 90 people in my room, and I can't keep up with chat and play video game. I really can't. So I rely on my moderators to kind of answer questions that they know the answers to. That kind
You've
of
got
thing.
some pretty good mods. You've got some pretty good mods.
I do.
I've got a good one here. I've got a good one right up here.
Stop.
When he's there, I've got a really good one.
Listen, you always stream when I'm at work, man. Like you pick the perfect time. I'm like, I'm 3 hours into an 8-hour shift, and you're like, I'm streaming. Come on,
other
man.
mod sits here over the bed and just talks trash to me.
Right. Well, with this girl streamer, what she does that's different than anybody else, and I challenge anybody to go somewhere where they've got 200 or 300 people, and none of this. I bought some follower crap. I mean, they legitimately their chat is flying. They've got 300 or 400 people just talking away.
Oh my gosh!
Watch the streamer, and you let me know because I've never seen but one. I've never seen a streamer be able to have that many conversations and make everybody feel important within the chat. So I could ask her a question. Either a mod will answer that question if she misses it, but probably 75, 80% of the time she's answering the question or having multiple different conversations at one time. Wow. And
this isn't a streamer that we both know, is it?
I'm not sure. She plays Destiny, but
okay, no, it's fine.
But that's the quality. Like whenever I go to somebody's chat and I'm watching that, they're that interactive with their audience, that interactive with their friends in there, and they know things that are going on. Somebody comes in and that they had a car accident 3 days ago. I mean, she's going to say, "Hey, how are you feeling today?" Like she remembers that stuff, and I think that's why people come in. That's why people stick around, because they have that intimate relationship that they know about them and they know about her, and they continue that.
Yeah. It gets frustrating when you see somebody who you've helped and then they grow and grow and grow, and you're like, hey, wait a minute. I was there when you were nothing, and then you just kind of what's it gets frustrating. And for me, I'm like, okay, it's just if they do, they do. If they don't, oh well.
Right.
Like you said, you've got to set yourself apart. Like you said, when they rate you, you've got to be different than the person that is rating you. You've got to make them want to watch you.
Right. How many people you see wearing masks or dressing up like a bumblebee or something?
And that's something me and my wife were talking about the other night, because I see it all the time in my recommended.
Yeah.
Is this one, and there's this one girl, and she's always popping up in my recommended, but then I'll go and I'll see like several others of them. These girls it's hot tub time, and they've got a blow up freaking pool in their room that they're twitching in. And they're in a bikini, and they're about this bigger around from here down.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little swelled out in the middle, then it goes right back to, you know what I mean?
I'm sure they're only there to see how deep their intellect is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
But they've
asking
got
questions
5,000
about Kuba
viewers. They
Khan
got
and all
5,000
that.
viewers.
Yeah.
This is Twitch. This is a gaming community
The
where, yes, we're
geopolitical
doing things like
history of
this
the
right here. We're
Eastern
podcasting, but
Empire.
we're not doing this every time we come on here. We're not broadcast. We're gaming as well. This, like, every time I see this one name come, it's always the same thing. I'm like, this is not OnlyFans.
But it's the lemmings though. The lemmings are the ones that that follow and watch those kinds of streams. Like they're not interested in anything but one thing, and we all know what that is. You know.
Yeah, you have the best eyes.
Yeah. Like,
You've got a wonderful personality.
Like I would much rather have 5 people who are interested in the game I'm playing and talking to me and hey, how you been this week? I know you've been working a lot. Like than 500 people oogling just because like
Yeah. Well, my priorities in life have changed in a very swiftly around 40. And
My wife
so
is saying I'm salty because of that.
well they've got. I mean you got to understand that it's easy to get 500 lemmings to show up, and it's harder to get 5 good friends to show up. You know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
but when the 5
Exactly.
good friends that do show up, they're there because they want to be there.
I
The
have
500 lemmings are there because they were drawn there because the light's bright. You know, like that's. I mean, that's the way I see it. Like maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but
and I have made some really amazing friends doing this right here. I mean, there's Cerebral, there's Mystic Isle. One of them's in my chat. I just met her. I think it was Monday night. Carly Quinn,
Mortimer Khan.
Khan,
Yeah.
Shrimpy. I have made some really amazing
Shrimpy's
friends
really
doing this right here. Rasha,
cool.
Boss
good one.
Man, all those Weatherman BD. I gamed with him and Cerebral and Xavier.
I gotta shout out one guy, Bubba Jiggles, who followed me because of Cerebral, and he's actually got a tab open for me. So, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm now 2
Oh, yeah.
away. So I just gotta say thank you
Two away.
guys.
Two
Everybody,
away. Hey, so Carly, you're on
Bubba,
here right now.
and I gotta
Get
let me
you
shout
and
out
your
the other
husband
guy
to
too,
go
real
follow
quick. Sorry,
him.
guys. Bubba Jiggles and Biostorm were the 2, and then of course Cerebral. Y'all are you're pushing me over that hill there. So I appreciate that. So I just want to jump in and say that.
No problem.
There we go. So I just dropped yours in mine, and I know I've got
thank
2
you.
in there that will come drop you follows.
Thank you.
Because I want to get you to your 50 tonight, man.
There's
I wanna
Harley
get you to your
Quinn just followed. I am 1 away now.
1 away. All right. So, but like I said, I've made some really amazing friends, some lifelong friendships. Cerebral is one of them. And I mean, Cerebral, you have been amazing for me on this journey. Granted, I would not be where I'm at with like my friends, with Rect and my wife over on the bed. But you have been one of my biggest supporters, one of my biggest cheerleaders. I remember the night I got affiliate. I texted you right after I made my wife. I was like, dude, I got it. I got my email. I made affiliate, and went in the chat that night on his stream. I was like, dude, I got my affiliate. And I mean, it was just like surreal. And I've got one of my biggest cheerleaders right there in my corner cheering me on. You know, you have been, like I said, there is nothing I could do that would be thanks enough, man. You have been like awesome on this journey. And anybody who is starting out, who is trying to get affiliate, follow Cerebral. Go in his chat. Talk to him. This guy is a really, really good guy.
There's been a many times that I went from playing Rocket League to next thing you know, you're just staring at a static car and may get off on a tangent with somebody. So I don't mind.
Oh yeah. I still like the story that you told me about the guy dropping all those gifted subs that night, and you just drunk off your
Okay, so he's actually in Marine Basic Training right now. His name was Panda. If you look at the number 3, I don't ever refresh. That's another thing too. I don't ever refresh the gifters or the subs or anything. It just keeps going up. So his name is the one Mr. Panda, right? And so I'm not sure what his relationship was with his parents, but I had a lot of father-son kind of conversations with him. And I don't know why, but I guess because I was prior military or whatever, but he did look up to me, and I saw that I had a little bit of influence with him. So I took that upon myself to help him in whatever question he had. And we went off quite a few times talking about the military. And, like 2 days before he's supposed to ship off, he sent me a message on Discord, and he said, my dad's sick, my grandma's sick. I don't think I should leave because my dad's doing bad. And I told him, I said, look, I'm second generation military. My son's third generation. I've seen it from both ways, me leaving my family and my family leaving from me. So I'm going to tell you right now that as being a dad, that responsibility of you sticking around for people when they're sick, that's not your responsibility. And what would make your dad more proud is if you did go do something with your life. So if it's joining the military, getting a hell of a job, going to college and graduating, whatever, we all as parents want that to happen to our children. So I told him, if you have a date to go, your dad is going to be super proud of you, sick or not, when you go. Just know that you're taking your first step into your new life. This is you're leaving the nest, and that was one of the ones I think I got choked up with him a couple times, typing. But I've got a really good heart. But so he's the only one. Well, you Steve, too. But I don't give my address out because I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I mean, people get swatted, and you know what I mean. I'm sure you guys have seen all that. So I don't want that crap ever to happen or put my family through that. So,
well, I know where you live because I put your internet in.
so
your eyes, Rick.
So whenever he left, I gave him my address and I told him to write me, and I said I'll send him a care package or something. So I'm still waiting on that letter. Hopefully he does write me at one point.
But yeah, if this guy dropped so many gifted subs,
205.
Yeah,
205.
Yeah, and so you were drinking for
well, that's how it started because he gave me like. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. Like I've had people go off. Like Bubba Jiggles I have 315, Xavier 241, and Panda at 205. That's just my top threes. But that happened. Yeah. He gave me like 50, and I was like, you know what? Screw gaming, screw everything. I'm just going to get the liquor bottle out. So then I started taking shots, and I can't remember what the ratio was. I was taking a shot for every so many gifted subs. And I told him, I said, okay, really, that's enough because I'm about to vomit and I've got like 30 people watching this. So no, I can't possibly take another drink. And then he dropped like another 50 or 100. And I was like, all right, you broke me. I'm done. So then I had to get up and leave. And you guys heard those alerts going off because, they were throwing subs at me and stuff. I got great friends and family on here, but I left to go smoke a cigarette because I literally had like the shakes because I was so wound up. My adrenaline's dumped. I'm like, what in the world? This guy's 19 years old throwing over $1,000 at me. Yeah. And so I went outside to smoke a cigarette and, my alerts just go off, like a sub alert. It sounded like someone won a jackpot at Las Vegas. Like it would not shut up. And so I'm outside smoking a cigarette, taking my time because I'm trying to compose myself. And meanwhile, I'm hearing this alerts and my house just busted off. And I'm like, oh, I got done with the cigarette, walked in, and they were still going off.
Oh, wow.
Like 5 minutes later, and I just sat there and just in shock. I mean, I've leveled like 2,000% of a level 5 hype train. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, it was so much. And so he said, we played the rest of the day. And he said, I told you one day I'm going to pop off. So I'm going to tell you right now, if a 19-year-old ever tells you someday I'm going to pop off, I'm thinking like 5 subs, and he doesn't even have to do that. But to me, I mean, hell, that's when I pop off. I'm not throwing 200 something at somebody, but yeah, it got me and broke me. And I don't know, I probably choked up.
Wow.
Probably got diarrhea the next day. I don't know. I was all worked up.
I remember you telling me that story that was right after it happened. All I could do was laugh. Your wife was like, holy fuck.
I know, right?
I wouldn't know what to do with all that either. That's crazy.
I like to be in control, but sometimes, nope.
Right? They just come and they just dump stuff on you, and you gotta deal with it.
At that point, I'd be like, man, I'm drawing up adoption papers right now.
Yeah, right. I want to be friends with your dad.
I'm marrying your bad. Somebody's got all that money. Who do I got to get with around here?
Right.
All right. Well, we're gonna go into what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into our Q&A session, real quick because we're at an hour. We usually have our guests on here for an hour. Now you can stick around for longer than that. Kind of put your input on something.
Oh, I've got to watch UFC, but I'll definitely be available on if you want to message me or something. But,
All right.
Yeah, we'll do the
Well,
Q&A.
all right. So we're gonna do a real quick Q&A session with our chats. Now, what we do is we usually take a couple of questions from each of our chats. So guys, if you've got questions, go ahead and ask them. Now, let these be questions that all three of us can answer. Don't ask Cerebral what it's like to climb a telephone pole or
Never done it.
ask me how to fit a woman for shoes.
Hold on. That's not fair. Listen, I was only Al Bundy for like 3 years. All right.
Okay. But ask us questions.
I'm doing good,
that-
buddy.
Hey,
right?
you know, you do what you got to do sometimes, and that's what I have to do.
Questions other than that, wrecked or not wrecked, grounded, not
Oh.
not something like that. It's like, if you could have this or that, what would you do? Or
Yeah, do you have any questions about like the military or streaming or how to set up a stream? What the first thing to buy is? I can help you out with any of that.
Yeah. So if you got those questions, okay. So I've got one here, and this is from Carly Quinn. What's the biggest tip or something that you wish you knew before you started streaming? And I'll
Ooh.
let you go ahead. I'll let you start, Cerebral.
The biggest tip for somebody that before they started streaming. Okay,
Something you wish you knew before you started.
yeah. I wished I would not have blown money on cheap things because we're all stressed for money at the very beginning, and I found out in my journey of doing all this that the interaction of all these electronics and making things work properly. If you try to take the cheap route or you buy a cheap cord or cheap anything, there's a chance it's going to fail. And whenever I bought this Sony A6400, some $2,000 camera, I got like a $900 lens on it, where I can hold up my shot glass and it like fizzes out everything. Here in a second, you'll see.
Nice.
Does all cool stuff like that. But if you're really serious about streaming, my suggestion would be, and what I wish I would have done, is start saving 6 or 8, 10 months ahead, and get yourself a big pot and a money, and try to figure out, okay, what do I need first, second, third, and buy quality things, and then you can add quality things as you go. But to get started, you have to get quality things.
Wrecked?
What I'm not even affiliate yet. You can pass me on this question.
Hey,
you know
if
what?
I have anything to do, if I have anything to do with it, you will have your 50 by the end of this stream.
I know. It will happen. It will. And then I've got to say real quick, thank you, Cerebral, so much. I mean,
You bet.
You jumping in and a couple of the guys there. Carly
Okay,
Quinn.
I am
So
Curity, Birdie. That's not funny. I'm not that damn old.
yeah, he is. Don't let
They
him lie to you.
posted in the chat. Is that my lovely buddy Cerebral hanging out on stream with his dad?
I didn't want to. I just smiled at that and went on. I didn't pay any
I
mind
just
to it.
looked over and saw it because I've got your stream coming up on my cell phone, and I just looked over and saw that, and I was like, "Yeah!" And you said, "You betcha, you asshole."
No, that's the one above that. He says, "Thanks for the sub, Cerebral." I gifted him a sub.
Oh, okay. All right.
XD
One of the
Rush
things-
just followed me. I just got to 50, guys.
Yes.
I just got to 50.
Yes. Thank you,
Boom.
guys.
Wow.
Do you have your hours and time in?
I believe I do.
And your average viewers?
I think he's just needing the 3 average viewers.
Well,
Okay.
actually, lately I've been averaging about 3 viewers. I've got 4 to 6 tonight. I'm staying steady at 4. So
we
I
might have
think
that
I'm pretty.
email.
If not, I'm
Yeah.
like on the edge. But I've got the follows.
We might
now.
have that email in the morning. We might have to do a special stream tomorrow if you get it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do a special. We'll do a special something because I'm off
Yes.
all day tomorrow.
Yes.
If I get
Yes.
if I get my email, I will do a 5-hour stream tomorrow. I will.
And
do
I
it.
will
Now,
join
I will
I
do a
will
5-hour stream, and we'll play.
figure something out.
Whatever you want.
Oh, you, me, and Cerebral will play Faz.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Oh,
Oh, he can't play Faz when his wife's home because he doesn't
yeah,
want to be
no, no. See, I have dignity, you know, and I'm one of those type of guys that I will ask my wife for permission for a lot of things.
Oh,
But you know, I'm a big guy, and she used to do mixed martial arts, and she's pretty intimidating. And I don't want any masculinity that she may think about
stripped
me
away.
to be stripped away whenever I play this kind of game.
I mean,
Has she not seen the clips from the other night?
Yeah, she laughed her butt off. Yeah, she sure did.
I might play. I might play a little bit of. Well, I might. I don't know. I've been playing Hearts of Iron 4 off stream. I might play that. I finally got the hang of that game after 2 years of having it.
Oh, you've got Epic, right, on your computer? That RPG that I was telling you, that Magic the Gathering RPG, it's called Magic Legends, I think it is out free on Epic Games right now. And you can download it,
You know what?
and it's free.
You know what though? You should get the Baldur's Gate, and then we can play that online. But
If
that's
I
great.
wasn't
That's on
so-
you. That's
if I
on you.
wasn't
I mean,
so
if you
broke
want
right now, if I wasn't so broke right now, I would.
Oh, okay.
Next, my wife says next step Dixper. Right.
Yeah.
All right. She said I was about to offer up some merch if we didn't get you to that 50. She was about to offer up merch.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Which, speaking of which, my mask came in today, and it looks tight. It looks really, really good. I don't know where I put it. Is it in my back pocket? Oh, it is in my back pocket. So we got this in today. Let me put it up on the cam. And that is really it's actually printed into the fabric. It's not like a iron on or anything. It's printed in. I like it. It's actually really good quality, and it's got the little pouch for the filter and everything else. So one of the things, YouTube stuff. In fact, when we started doing the podcast, she goes, "You're leaving that to him because I'm not editing any other videos."
My wife said a ton.
I see that.
She does help me. But your wife does a lot of your back end stuff, you know. And my wife is super busy doing the stuff she does, so I try to do all of it. I do have 2 or 3 people that run my Discord because I am, as you can tell, beginning kind of a dummy when it comes to Discord. So they're the ones that set it up and moderate it and everything. I just go in there and say hi once in a while.
Yes. But something else I wish that I had known how, before I started was it's not as easy as it looks. It really isn't. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of self-promoting, putting yourself out there, getting yourself in a for some people, getting yourself in a comfort zone that you're not used to. So for me, I think a lot of it would be something's going on with my audio or my desktop. Oh, it's my desktop audio.
Buy better equipment.
I was looking at my desktop audio thinking that was my mic.
Cerebral already said it. Buy better
No,
equipment.
no. Okay, so this cam that I'm using, Cerebral gave me for running wires in his house. This is the cam that you gave me. So I've got the 2 cameras that one of them my wife always messes with and messes it up. But anyhow, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And it's not when I got into streaming, I think, oh, it's gonna be easy. I'm just gonna play video games, people are gonna follow. It's not that simple. It really isn't. So that's my answer. Rec, do you have any questions from your chat?
I don't have any questions at all.
Okay, so I'll ask another one. Grounded for Life asked, "What is the best quality each of you guys like about each other?" I don't think there's any qualities that we actually like about each other.
Whoa.
Rec and I have known each other for 20 plus, almost about 20 years.
Yeah, too long.
Our friendship just, but Cerebral, I don't know. Cerebral, he's just for me. It's just his willingness to help people. It starting out, you know, he's one of the biggest cheerleaders I know, and that's both in size and heart. Um, and one of the most manliest cheerleaders I know. So
chest hair and everything.
yeah, chest hair. Yeah. No, I can't say there's specific qualities that I like about Cerebral and Rect. They are both very, very good friends of mine. Uh, there's not really anything about either one of them that I don't like. I mean, it's all around who the type of people that they are. That's the qualities I like in each of them. Really, Cerebral can only answer that question about me, and Dennis can really only or Rect can only answer that question about me. So, what is it you guys like about me?
I have exactly the same thing you just said.
Right, ditto.
Yeah, ditto. Yeah.
So let's take one more question real quick. And I saw one in there in my chat. Give me just a second. Let me see or maybe that was what my wife was saying was how much work it is for the streamer spouse. Any of you guys have got any more questions?
I got Cordy over here. He said, well, what is the game you are anticipated that has been announced that will release in the future? Like what are you looking forward being released?
Ooh, that is a good one. What games are we looking forward to coming out in the future? I'm trying to think because there's so many good games that are going to be coming out.
I'm doing a Google search, boys.
Total War Warhammer 3. I already have mine. Total War Warhammer 3 is coming out later this year, and I cannot wait for that game. That if you like strategy games and it's So the third version of Total War Warhammer is coming out. So if you guys like Warhammer, it's Warhammer started out as tabletop. Total War took that and they're coming out with a third, which is going to include so much awesome stuff. So I'm super excited. I don't want to get too nerdy about it, but that's the game I'm looking forward to. I promise you.
So the two games that I'm actually looking forward to coming out, there's actually two of them I'm looking forward to coming out that they announced at DC Dome back last year. Is Gotham, was it Nightfall? Gotham Knights. Where you get to take the roles of Red Hood, Robin, Damian Wayne, Nightwing, and Batgirl. So you get to take those roles were no, it's not done quite yet. Grounded. Batman is dead, has died or something, and you take over these four roles and try to avenge Batman's death. The other game that I'm looking forward to now, anybody who knows me knows that I'm a big fan of the Batman Arkhamverse. I've played all of the Arkham games, Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, Arkham Knight, and now they are coming out with a spinoff that takes place in the Arkhamverse, which is Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League.
Oh wow!
And you get to play as Deadshot, you get to play as King Shark, Captain Boomerang, Harley Quinn, and those characters. So that is another game that I'm looking really, really forward to because the trailer for it looks awesome. It looks awesome. What about you, Cerebral?
To be honest, like I said, I'm kind of stuck in my ways a little bit, but I'm really picky when it comes to games because it has to draw like all of my attention, not just a little bit. And I hate story-based games because I don't know. I've always had a really bad imagination, if that makes any sense. So like if I read a book, I'll tell you what the story's about, but do I remember if that guy had a one eye or green collar? Probably not. So if I play story-based games, there may be a time because I'll play something else that I'm not really following a story as much, and then I kind of get burned out because I lose the storyline and things of that nature. So as of right now, I probably don't have any. I'm sure something will come out, and I'm like, yes, but I primarily do Destiny, which has been out for 7 years, probably, and Rocket League. Those are pretty much my two. But I do like Fortnite. But the problem with Fortnite is it seems like every expansion just continues to get worse for me. Like I used to like to snipe, now there's no snipers. I liked it before the sharks were attacking you on the beach and all this other stuff. Um, but I don't really know anything in the future. I know I was really looking at Cyberpunk, and then what? It didn't do very well.
It just kind of dwindled. I mean, it's a cool game. That was the first game that Rasha streamed was Cyberpunk, and it looked. I never really seen anything like gameplay or I've seen the trailers, with Neo, with Ted Theodore Logan, uh, but I don't know. It to me, it's kind of a mixture of like Grand Theft Auto and Borderlands with a cyberpunk theme. That's what it looks like to me.
What's that new one? That's the third person shooter everybody's trying to play.
Outriders.
Outriders. Okay, so I absolutely hate Gears of War. I don't like that game because I like realistic shooters. When we're playing video games, and I get that, but like nobody shoots over a barricade with their arms in the air like this. So being former military, I'm like, what in the world? And so with that, looks and feels. It feels and the mechanics feel like Gears of War, but it kind of has like a Destiny, alien kind of thing feel too. I guess if they had a baby, the only thing that ruins it for me is the third person shooter and the motions, kind of like Halo. So many Halo people out there. I've tried to play Halo, and I'm running like someone would run. I mean, it's not nimble, it's not agile. You're not jumping from thing. You're just like wiggling around corners, and
That's what turned me off to the Call of Duty was they were adding Halo aspects to Call of Duty, where the double jump.
Oh yeah, we could run on walls and stuff. Like
I hate double jump. I hate double jump so badly. I hate double jump, and it was nothing
back
to
in
watch.
Mario. We get it. It's fine.
Yeah,
had a bad experience once.
There I was
trying to jump through chasms.
I was at the fat kid camp. They made fun of me.
Yeah, I couldn't double jump. But it's nothing to hear me play like Black Ops 4. Yeah, was it Black Ops 4 and 3 and 2? And God damn it, quit double jumping. This isn't Halo, god damn it. So that turned me off so badly. And I love Halo, but that turned me off to like Call of Duty because I'm like, this isn't Halo, this is Call of Duty. Quit double jumping and wall running and all this other crap. Let me shoot you for crying out loud.
Yeah. Or quick scope you when I'm 7 years old. I've got a modded controller. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll take some more questions for me and Rex here a little bit later. I know Cerebral's got some things to do. He's got a UFC fight to watch while he streams Rocket League. So again, guys, if you're following me, make sure you hit up Cerebral. Cerebral is go in that community, check him out. It's amazing. He's got some amazing streams. He does 24-hour streams every once in a while, which occasionally, if you go back to his last one and you hit, what was it, like hour 6, hour 7, you'll get some good laughs.
Yeah,
in fact, I was laughing so much that next day for 3 days I couldn't talk.
Yeah, you guys they were making fart sounds and it was scaring the absolute tar out of me. It was terrible.
It was farts because his sound alert he's got one, it's a fart, it's real sudden, it's and then another one he yells out dicks. And every time somebody would do one or the other, Cerebral damn near touches ceiling.
Oh.
It was funny as hell. And all you hear is this long stream of cuss words come out.
Yeah, it would just come out because they can't. That's like my verbal punch. Like if you did that in front of me, I would have just slipped and punched you and apologized a lot afterwards.
It was a stream of cuss words put together like Abraham from Walking Dead. Like, mother shit,
Oh. Like it was bad. I streamed for 26 hours and 12 minutes. That stream.
God Almighty. So I want to thank you again for coming on. My wife tried to play a sound alert, which is a fart, but it won't play over his deal. But again, Cerebral, man, thank you again for coming out here. Thank you for helping us out.
Yeah,
no problem.
Appreciate it.
You're an amazing streamer. I know you've got big things in the works, and I can't wait to hear about them. And I can't wait to see the success you've got coming, man.
Yeah, I hope everybody gets it, and the thing is just don't ever stop supporting people. I mean, I'm gonna lie and probably say I won't forget the little people because you meet a lot of people, you really do. But just keep faith and keep friendships, and don't rely your success on anyone else.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that you make your stream yours, and because people are not going to come into your stream because you know me and I know you. I mean, that may or may not happen, but what's going to happen if we're both streaming at the same time? You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
just make sure that you make the best out of it with yourself. This is your career. This is what you're doing. So make it you.
All right. Well, Cerebral, thank you for coming on the Polar Nerds podcast, man.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna
Thank
have you back sometime, man. You gotta come back and hang and talk some nerd shit with us.
Oh, absolutely. And just to be clear on the fart sounds, I think a couple of them were actually me. So
Nice. Right.
But no, I thought that was you shitting your pants. But
yeah, no, yeah, it was. Yeah, there wasn't an echo. There was a digital fart and a real fart.
Right.
So
There.
all
there-
right.
there
Well,
were-
Cerebral, man, you take it easy, brother, and we'll catch you later, man.
all right, sounds good. We'll see you guys.
See you.
Let me go in here and get out of this.
I just kick you out.
You kicked me out.
I don't know how.
Wow.
There we go. Kick Cerebral. There we
And
go.
there you go.
All right, guys. So there's Cerebral Asylum again. If you follow me or go on there, and if you're watching this on Rex Podcast, hit Cerebral out. That's at twitch.tv/Cerebral_asylums. Make sure you put that S on the end because if you don't, it's not him. So actually, we kind of went a little bit longer on that. So we may run the podcast a little bit longer than we usually do. But so we've got some stuff to go over tonight. One of being is episode 5 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So
What?
I will say that was a really, and if you haven't watched it yet, I'm warning you now. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. So let's get into it, man.
Okay, so actually, and I looked up in my big book of knowledge over here, the special
Was I
character.
wrong?
I don't know that you're wrong. I don't know because it's a different. I don't know.
So-
We'll see.
So
Go
the
ahead.
story I looked up on her. Well, we'll get into who we're talking about in just
Right.
a second. So this episode picks up exactly where episode 4 leaves off. Okay, so we're seeing John. John has just killed a guy publicly who moments before in episode 4 was talking about what Captain America meant to him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of really ironic that he's the guy that dies is the guy who was talking about what Captain America meant to him. And, what that being Captain America was, should be, a symbol of hope and things like that. Somebody you look up to, and now he's being killed by the new Captain America. Or as we call him, Captain Asshole.
Captain Asshole is who he is.
So John is now running. He's because now he's just publicly killed somebody with Cap's shield. He's run into a warehouse, and who is waiting for him? But lo and behold, Sam and Bucky. Now this was one of my favorite scenes in this episode was because he's like, they're like telling him, hey man, just give it up, just give it to us. And he's like, no, I'm Captain America. And he's like, you really don't want to do this. And that was one of my favorite scenes was Bucky looking at him like, yes, we do. Which all of us were thinking, yes, we do.
Yeah. Oh no, they were gonna get that shield back. I mean, after.
Oh, one way or another.
Yeah.
But one of the things that really got me on this scene was here now we have two super soldiers. We've got Bucky and we've got John, because John's now taking the super soldier serum. And Sam right in the middle of this with no superpowers. It's just some mechanical wings. Get into this fight, man. And I mean, there's some ass whooping get going on. Some real big time ass whooping.
It's a tough fight.
Oh yeah. Really good fight. Really, really good fight. Really, really up to par with the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
In my
I thought it would be an easier fight than that with them. Yeah, I mean but he was really powerful with that serum.
Yeah,
Um,
the only other fight I think that would have rivaled was the fight between Tony and Cap and Bucky at the end of Civil War.
Yeah. But the coordination, I mean, between those two fights, the coordination between Cap and Bucky in the Iron Man fight was ridiculous. Sam and Bucky don't have quite that. And you see that, like, they're not fighting as
team-
a team.
a team.
Yeah.
And that's something that he says, we'll
Yeah.
get into in a minute. He
Later,
says
yeah.
something, he makes a remark towards that. So we get into this fight and we win, but at a cost. And that cost is Sam's wings. His
Yeah.
his wings are torn by John off of his jetpack.
Yeah, they do a lot of that whole fight scene was they pulled a lot of different stuff from the other fight scenes. Like when Sam's got the shield and he's got like the rope on his shield. It's almost like Spider-Man, you know, like they did some montages that were reminiscent of other fight scenes they've done.
Yes. So Sam loses his wings. And one part that got me was when John and Bucky go at it. Bucky gets knocked down, and something it took a minute for me to click in my hand, but you see Bucky's arm underneath him, and it's just sitting there, electricity between the fingertips. So, but we win. Bucky and Sam is what I mean by we. We get the shield back. They end up break, and that was another scene that was very reminiscent from another Marvel scene. Was when they're taking the shield away.
Yes, it's almost like the Thanos scene.
And
they actually get it off this time.
They actually get it off this time. Yeah,
they break his arm doing it.
I wonder if we had Sam and Bucky on Titan instead of the Guardians and Tony and Peter, if we'd have gotten that glove off of them.
Hold on, listen. Okay, I want to say something. I know a lot of people give Peter shit about what he did, but if that were me, I probably would have lost it too.
Well, I'm not talking about Peter as Peter Quill. I'm talking about Peter as in Peter Parker.
Oh, well, Quill was the one that
because I mean Sam and Bucky succeeded in doing something that the Guardians and Tony and
Doctor Strange
and Doctor Strange couldn't do. Welcome back, Carly. They actually got it off. They had to break John's arm to do it, but they got that shield off of his arm.
Yeah.
So that leaves there. Now, something I did a little bit of research too. So when he goes to the next scene, they're having a debriefing with Sam's little Air Force intelligence guy. Now, I did a little research and found out that this guy is actually in the Marvel Universe. Torres.
Mm-hmm.
He is actually the second Falcon.
Yeah. Yeah, you could tell that he's going to be Falcon because
he tells him you can keep. He's like, what are you going to do with these wings? He's like, keep them.
Yeah, do whatever. Yeah, he's going to be the next Falcon. So they're introducing. So we've got the new Captain America, obviously coming up. We've got U.S. Agent, which is a whole different iteration of Captain America.
Which we're going to get into. We're going to get into that.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. Bucky is grown a lot. You can tell in this episode.
Oh yes.
Sam,
he wants to have back so much of his humanity in this episode.
He really starts to be like the best friend he was to Cap. Like you know what I'm saying? He got that back. That part of him is back. Like being that kind of Bucky. And we really get to see that. So they break the arm of John Walker. They arrest him, send him packing. Sam takes the shield, and the first thing he does is I thought he was going to cry, but he's trying to wipe the blood off of it.
Yeah, like he was crying. He was crying.
Yeah, like
and it was almost like there's something that made me think it was, Steve was his best friend. Steve was his best friend, so
Steve was both their best friends.
Yeah, and this is the shield is the last thing he has of his best friend. And
Bucky kind of mentions that too.
It's been dishonored. It's been bloodied.
Well, they both kind of like Sam shows that in that little scene he's trying to wipe off, and you're right, and then Bucky actually says that, like he's like he
Well, we'll
they
get to
both
that part.
that
Yeah, we'll get to
shield
that
means
part.
so much to both of them. Like
Yes.
we'll get. I'm just saying, like, but Sam's way of showing it is immediately he gets the and he's trying to wipe the
very,
blood
very
off. Like,
emotional, very emotional,
yeah,
very emotional. So we get to that part, and Carly is now she's off the radar. They don't know where she's at. She's gotten away thanks to John, Captain Asshole,
Captain
uh,
Asshole.
his actions. Uh, so we've got that. So Sam's got the shield, and you can still see it. I mean, he's crying over wiping, but you can still see in his eyes he does not want the shield. He doesn't want the shield.
Right.
So then Bucky leaves, and Sam says, he knows where he's going. He's going after Zemo.
Yeah,
'Cause-
Bucky
because it's
immediately leaves to go after Zemo, and
Which
Sam,
that scene there, and I'll get into it, was really emotional for me as well.
yeah, well, Sam,
Very
okay,
emotional.
Bucky leaves to go get Zemo because he was not going to let Zemo go. The second part, I mean, Sam, that's when Torres comes in and he tells Torres that take the I'm done with that suit.
Take the
whatever
wing.
you want to do, and he takes the shield and he walks. He goes home because
Yeah.
they as Avengers can't do anything else. Like the governments have taken over.
The government has
Yeah.
shut them down
Yeah, so
because of the Sokovian Accords.
yeah, they can't legally do anything anymore. So
Yeah.
and they have no lead. They don't know where Carly is. Bucky's going after Zemo, so Sam goes home. He goes home. Or well, actually, he stops off first, and then he goes home.
So so he makes a pit stop first, and he goes sees Elijah Bradley, who, do what,
I think it's Isaiah.
or Isaiah,
Yeah.
which if you're familiar with the comics, Isaiah Bradley was Patriot, wasn't it? It was his name in the comics.
I believe so. Yeah.
Who is Patriot, who was basically the first Black Captain America. But in this, you find out there's a more darker history behind that. His time as a super soldier. That they gave it to several of them.
Yeah, and that's what. And the other thing he mentions that there was more than just him.
Yeah, there was more than just him. The other ones had died off. He was the last one left, and because he didn't die off, they performed all sorts of experiments on him and told his family he was dead.
His wife tried to write him letters, and they wouldn't let him. They basically said he was dead. And his
Yeah, they
wife,
basically
none of
said
the
they was
letters
dead,
got through. And his
but they
wife,
would not let him be Captain America because he was colored.
yeah.
And
they disavowed all knowledge of him and stripped him
they
from
basically
history.
wiped him from history.
Yeah.
Another character that in that scenes right there also, and who was introduced when Isaiah was first introduced in this series, is his grandson, who in the comics, I had his name on the tip of my. He's basically the Captain America of the Young Avengers.
Yes.
And I can't think of his name. It's like Young Patriot or something like that. I can't remember. And so Sam brings him the shield. We're going to back up. Sam brings him the shield. I guess he's gonna give it to him because he feels like he deserves it because he was somewhat Captain America at the time. And Isaiah tells him, "Is that what I think it is? Don't even take it out."
Yeah.
And he tells him, he says, "No Black man in his right mind." He said, the government will not make a Black man
Captain America. Will not let a Black man be Captain
not
America.
let a Black man be Captain America, and no Black man,
no self-respecting Black man would want to be
Captain America. Because Captain America was like the definition of a white. I mean, blonde hair, blue eyed.
Yeah. But Sam even tells him, he's like, Steve didn't put you in jail. But it's the whole. Okay, so the shield.
It's the whole idea of it.
You gotta understand that the shield has a different meaning to everyone.
To everybody else. Yeah.
So to Isaiah, like, it's just repression and just darkness and pain, because that's what it gave him. That's what the American government gave him for all of his service. You know.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to pause real quick. Rasha is in the chat, and I do want to give Rasha a shout out. Rasha got his affiliate email last night. He hit his
Awesome.
$50. He got his 3.3 views. We are proud of you, man, here at the Polar Nerds Podcast. And we will be supporting you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Way to go, man. We are really, really proud of you.
Fantastic.
I know last night, I'm sorry. I've got to get my sound alerts because I know it's driving my wife crazy that my sound alerts are not going off. We are all really proud of you, man. You put in the work. You've got to that 50. And I know last night when you called me, I do apologize, man. I was having a very bad couple of days, and so again, man, I want you to know that we are all very, very proud of you, dude.
Good
Very
job.
proud of you, and we hope you success in your affiliation, and we will be supporting you, man. So know that we are here. If you got any questions, you need any help, man, we are all here for you. So let's get back into this. So a lot. Isaiah tells him, I don't want anything to do with this. Just go.
Yeah.
We cut into, we found Baron Zemo. He is in Sokovia. Now, if you're familiar with the Marvel movies, you know what's happened in Sokovia. If not, go watch Age of Ultron.
Yeah, he's at the memorial that he actually mentions the episode or two before. Have you been to the memorial yet? Of course not. Yeah, he's actually standing at the Sokovia Memorial.
All right. Yeah, and okay, Rasha. If we don't say anything, we're right in the middle of a conversation, but we will acknowledge him, and I will acknowledge him in chat. Anyways, Baron Zemo tells him, he says, Carly's gotten away. She's turned radicalized. There's no saving her, which I will admit I was wrong when we talked about what we thought was going to happen in this next episode. And I said, we're going to see Carly regain her humanity.
There's still time. There's still time.
We got one more episode.
But as what's his name said, power only makes you who you really are.
Exactly.
So, excuse me. Sorry.
But basically, Zemo tells him that there's only one way to stop Carly, and that's to kill her.
Yeah.
And he says, it's in you. They programmed you to kill. That's why you're different than Steve. That's why you're different from Sam. You are programmed to kill.
Yeah. And
you can do it. And Bucky pulls a gun on him. And he points it straight at his face. Zemo stops, nods his head, like, all right, this is what you were made to do. Do it. He pulls the trigger and click. Nothing happens. He holds out his other arm and he drops the bullet. Now, he drops all the bullets. This scene was emotional for me because it's basically him telling Zemo, I am not the Winter Soldier anymore. Yeah. I am not a killer anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care how bad you are. I am not the person you think I am anymore. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. And I mean, that was just like, holy crap type scene. And then who we see come up? But Oya and the Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
To take
badasses.
The badasses who aren't even super soldiers, according to John.
Yeah.
To take him away to Wakanda and imprison him forever.
No, they're taking him to the
they said the raft.
The raft, which is the island. Or that the super prison in the middle of the ocean that they had Ant-Man and Hawkeye.
Oh,
remember Tony goes and visits them? That's the raft.
Okay, that's the raft.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the raft. Okay.
The one in the middle of
nowhere. I thought it was like some special prison in Wakanda.
No, and I thought they were going to take him to Wakanda too, but they said the raft, and I was like, okay, because literally, even if he escapes that prison, he's in the middle of the friggin' ocean. So where's he going to go?
Where's he going to go? Exactly. Who's he going to have contact with to put out his little master plans that he has?
Right. I mean, Tony had to bring in nanobots and stuff just to talk for 5 minutes with Cliff, I think, or whoever he talked to.
Well, it was who was it? It was
I'm just saying it's super secure. That's why they're
Yeah.
taking him.
Yeah, it's
So,
super secure, so he can't get out. He has no contact to the outside world from there.
yeah.
Uh,
Of course, it's Zemo, so
and Ao tells Bucky, you might want to make yourself scarce in Wakanda for a little while for what you've done, because he's helped Zemo escape and
Yeah.
everything else. So yeah,
yeah, and he's like, I understand. And then as she's walking away, he's like, I have one more favor
more
to ask.
favor to ask, and then it cuts.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
And then we'll get into the whatever the favor is because I
Yeah,
already knew what it was. I
we
knew
both
what it
already
was.
know what it is. We both already know what it is because Bucky saw this coming.
Yeah.
Bucky saw this coming, and he doesn't say so into the scene that we'll get into, but he pretty much says it without coming right out saying, "I knew this was, I knew you were going to happen." But you kind of see it in Sam. But so now we cut to Carly Morgenthau singing in a park. The GRC is about to vote on letting the refugees back into their home countries after being blipped out of existence during the events of Infinity War. And they are, if you've been watching the show, they are the Flag Smashers are totally against all this because they're like they kicked us out. They don't want us there, so their plan is to keep this vote from happening, and by any means necessary. And if I'm right, the guy, so they have somebody bring them weapons, and if I'm right, the guy that brings them weapons, George, as she puts it, is the guy from the very first episode that Sam fights in the helicopter.
Yep.
That's who it is. So he's
because he
they say
says
somebody Sam.
he says I don't care what y'all do. I just want to kill the Falcon.
Kill the Falcon. Yeah. Because Sam rescuing this hostage screwed this guy out of.
But did you notice who? Okay, do you know where he got those weapons from? The power broker. She was on the phone, and she's like, "Speak English," and he's speaking French the whole time, and she's like,
"So does that mean Peggy is
Peggy's the power broker? It's not
Peggy's
Peggy. It's oh shit,
Doom.
She's got to be the power broker.
She has to. Yeah, she knows too much.
She first of all, how's she got all that fancy artwork in Madripoor?
Yeah. She has to be She has
and then,
to.
Yeah,
so
when she got in the car, and they were like, "We have bigger problems with that." Yeah, she's the power broker.
Yeah.
That's how she's managed to.
That would explain how she's kept. That she was able to keep Sam or Sharon. I'm sorry, yeah. I get them confused. That Sharon was able to keep Sam and Bucky alive in Madripoor.
Yeah.
Because with everybody out to kill him, I mean, and how would they have known where she was in that big? They were in that big place when they come out, and they're already all out there waiting on them.
Yeah.
So, and he says, "Well, how you're so small?" And she's like, "No, we're everywhere." And she hits a button on her phone, and all these people stand up. So the shows that there's a huge support for her movement.
Yeah.
It cuts off right there, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that was another thing," because her friend, the long-haired guy, he's like, "Oh, so we're doing business with criminals now?" And she's like, "Have you heard? We are the criminals."
Yeah.
So basically, her saying it's time. We're criminals. It's time for us to start acting like it.
Yeah, and you could tell he's not all for that. Like he was all for helping people and getting.
But these terrorist acts like this is not the way to go.
Yeah.
So then we cut to we're back in the South with Sam. He's at his sister's, and he's like, hey, I can't do anything. I don't have any leads, so I'm coming home, and I'm going to help my sister save this family business."
Well, he intentionally there, so he's going to help fix up the boat so they can sell it, because that was the big thing from the first episode.
He didn't want to sell it. It was not. He doesn't want to sell it, but she's saying there's no other option.
But yeah, financially they kind of need to.
Yeah.
So he actually calls in some favors from his parents' friends.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. He's like, "Hey, how many people still owe mom and dad, for them doing?" Because they were talking about how, because she was doing one of the kids that her kids go to school with. their dad, I guess, is a drunk or something like that. He doesn't get up and make them food for lunch and take with them, so she makes them food.
Yeah.
And he's like, making food for kids at school, just like mom used to do,
Yeah.
you know.
Feeding the whole neighborhood. Yeah.
Not Mom Russia. And he's like, well, wait a minute, how many people have still owe mom and dad for all the stuff that they did for them?
Yeah.
And she's like, all of them. And he's like, well, I think it's time I call in some favors. So he starts calling people. He's like, hey, you remember me? You remember my parents? And they're like, yeah. He's like, hey, and you hear one guy say, anything for the Wilson family.
Yeah.
Anything for them. And so like this whole community gets together to help them fix this boat up, you know, bring them in. And that was another part that I liked was the guys show up, they're on the pier. He's like, hey man, thanks for this help, but how do we get it off? And all of a sudden you see it lift off.
Yeah.
And there's Bucky. Bucky's come to help. And that whole scene of them fixing the boat and Bucky being there was funny. But the bet for me, all of it couldn't compare to Bucky hitting on Sam's sister. Like flirting with her, like, hi.
Yeah.
Like a little shot. It was at one point I swear to God, I heard him go, what's up?
Right.
Like at her.
Hey girl. Hey.
And Sam's going.
Yeah.
You know? But like, what was it? Sam trying to get the chisel underneath the deal on the boat.
First
in the middle.
of all, like the pipe bursts, right? And Sam goes to run and like tighten it back up, and then Bucky just goes over and he pushes it with his regular arm. He's like, "Why didn't you use the metal arm?" He's like,
the metal arm.
you know what?
I
don't really think about it first. I'm right-handed.
Right-handed.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, and then he's sitting there trying to take that railing of that metal
piece off the
He's sitting there he's hitting it, trying to get it off, get that crowbar, and Bucky just comes over and rips it off, and then he keeps walking.
Yeah, so you see Sam like fixing up the boat. You see Bucky helping him. They're working together.
Well, Sam says really starts that transition that we've been talking about what the shield means to certain people and what it meant to Steve and what it's supposed to represent. And Sam says something to his sister. She's like, because they're in the house, and she says, well, aren't you supposed to be off saving the world? And he goes, well, my family is in that world, so me helping my family is me helping save the world.
Yeah.
So that's something that he's now starting to realize, and we were talking about his transition, what it meant to represent that shield, and what it meant to protect. It wasn't so much to protect the country, but was to protect those you love.
Yeah.
Hey, Scalinas, what's up, man? So we're now seeing. Excuse me. Damn.
So we're seeing what I talked about in the first episode was Sam wasn't ready. Like he wasn't ready.
Sam wasn't ready.
So we're seeing Sam like really start to understand what it means to him to be Captain America, what the shield means, and what it means to protect, and what it is you're protecting, because those are all super important things.
But
Steve
not
didn't
only
just
that.
pick up the shield one day and decide that he was gonna, he had something to protect. He had Peggy, he had Bucky, he had these people, and especially when he lost Bucky, he that really, hey, I've got to protect these other people who don't, who can't protect and the people who can't protect themselves. So,
but it was also the scene that comes right after. So after that, they get the boat fixed up. They decide not to sell it. But no, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. There's a scene. So there's a scene where Bucky and Sam are basically playing frisbee using the trees with the shield.
Yeah,
they're bouncing it off back and forth to each other off these trees, like a really twisted form of catch, like a really fucked up form of frisbee.
Yeah,
and they get to talking to Sam starts talking to Bucky. And this is where the transition finally completes itself in a way that change in Sam. They start talking about the shield, and Bucky tells Sam, well, the shield is basically the only family I've got left, because that represented Steve.
What he tells him first, though, is he's like, I didn't realize
what
it
me
meant
and Steve
for me to give you the shield being an African American, And he's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
didn't
he goes,
realize
"Me and
any
Steve
of that.
did not think about that." He goes,
Yeah.
"Me and Steve didn't think about that. When Steve told me his plans to give you the shield, we didn't think about that, and I'm sorry for that."
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, that's what he says. That's where the line from the trailer comes from." He goes, "Well, the history of this shield is complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated." And he says, "Well, that shield is basically the only family I've got left." He goes, "I've got, his book and everything else." And he goes, "But Steve believed in me. He believed in you. He believed in himself.
Yeah.
You know." And he says, and Steve's or Sam's,
Starts going into his grief counseling mode.
his grief counseling and his PTSD counseling and stuff
Yeah.
like that. He tells him, he says, "You think you've been making amends? You haven't been. You've been just going
avenging.
to writing. You've been avenging. You've been righting wrongs of people you put in power." He said, "What you do," he says, "is you need to go and say, you need to tell them I'm sorry." He said, that's avenging is not closure."
Yeah.
He says, you have to go to these people and say," he goes, "and I guarantee you there's at least one person in that book who's deserving of closure that only you can give it to him
Yeah.
by telling them what happened." And he says, "There's probably a dozen or more." He says, and this was my favorite line. He says, "Start with one."
Yeah. That was what I was thinking. You start with one though. You start
You
with
start
one.
with one. Start with one. And I know who he's going to go to.
Yeah.
I
They
know
set
he's
that up in the first episode.
Yeah,
so.
it's going to be the old Asian man from the first
Yeah.
episode.
And that's good. But that's right. He's right because he asked him. He said, "Do you still have the nightmares?" And he said, "Every night." And he said, "There's only one way to climb up out of that hell." He's like,
Yeah, he
he's
knows
like,
it.
"Well, I've been
Okay,
doing this." That's where he gets into. "Well, I've been doing the steps." No, you've been doing the avenging. You haven't been doing the steps
the
to move.
amending. You're not making amends. You're avenging.
Yeah.
It's what you're doing, which was what basically he
Yeah.
was righting wrongs, but very in ways that he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And he says,
well, in ways that's not going to help him. Like it's helping people, but it's not helping him deal with it.
Yeah, it's not helping him deal with it. So Bucky has to leave. So they're walking back, and he says, when you get a lead on Carly, let me know, and I'll be there."
Yeah.
This is where you start to see they are actually now going to be they're friends. They're more than just because he said because he does say that a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're more than just two guys who both knew Steve. They are now friends.
Yeah.
They are two friends who were brought together by Steve.
Yeah. He was no longer there. So their friendship has gotten a lot stronger. And that's what that whole thing was about. Like, Bucky needs a friend that he can help. Because that's one thing that Bucky's always been is a great friend to help.
Yeah.
Sam needs someone to help him too. They both need each other to make this work.
It's a very codependent relationship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're both good independently, but like they could be a really powerful like team together,
Yeah.
And
so go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, and we see that like they've finally gotten to that point to where, all right, they're good together. They're all right. They're gonna be there for each other no matter what.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. And so they're walking off. He says, I'll be there, and he's like, not as a team. He's like, no, we're just guys who have a mutual friend
who's dead,
or who's dead, who's gone.
And they were like, we're just guys. We're just guys.
We're just guys.
Yeah.
We're just guys, And you see this kind of little banter between them, which was awesome. And then we go into Sam training with the shield, which to me, that montage was awesome.
Montage.
Yeah, I gotta have a montage.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. I mean, the only thing they could have done was play Eye of the Tiger. That would have made it just even that more awesome.
They could have played Eye of the Tiger, and then my thing was just me being me. When Sam was running, I would have loved to see old Cap running, catching up to him on your left, and that would have been hilariously awesome.
Yes,
but
yes.
There was no old Cap. There was none of that in this episode.
Or even Bucky just run beside him
on your left. Yeah. But Sam, he really, and he was looking good with that shield, and doing his flips, like the Falcon flips and stuff he does with the suit, with the shield catching, like he's training to use that shield more efficiently. Yeah.
And that was something we skipped over, is because when Bucky shows back up at the dock, he says, "Oh, I just came by to drop this off. You can sign it, and I'll be on my way."
Oh yeah.
And he drops the case. And he says, "I had the Wakandans make it."
Yep.
Sam doesn't open it. We don't see it get open until the very end of the episode. Um, but he's been training with the shield,
Yeah.
and you could tell he's training to use it in conjunction with a suit that he doesn't have
Yeah.
at this point. Um, we find out that we get through that, and he's gotten really good with the shield on catch. In fact, catches it barehanded
Yeah.
at one point, which only at that point, the only people who've ever been able to do that are Bucky and super soldiers.
Yeah.
And Sam is definitely not a super soldier.
No. And he's just training. He's just training to be the best Captain America he can be.
And I don't even think that. I think to be the best Sam that he can be.
Well, he's going to be okay. So yes. So for him, it's Sam being Sam with the shield. He hasn't officially taken the mantle. Like you will know when he takes that mantle, because he will be Sam Wilson Captain America, and he won't just be Captain America. He'll be Sam Wilson Captain America.
Captain America. And see, and that's the thing, is like I say, he's being the best, because we did skip over something, and it kind of ties into what I'm saying, is what went wrong with John, and it was with John with Captain Asshole.
Captain Asshole.
So another thing we've skipped over was, so John is actually court-martialed and kicked out. And during the trial, he says, "I am Captain America." So it wasn't, and that was the thing, was he wasn't trying to be the best Johnny could be, because he has flashbacks where Lamar is telling him, "You deserve this, because there's no one you constantly make the right decisions in battle when the odds are against you." But John wasn't trying to be the best John he could be.
Yeah.
He was trying to be the best Captain America. And he even actually said that in one, "I'm just trying to be the best Captain America I could be."
Yeah. Yeah, well, and then he even goes to Lamar's parents and completely lies to their face about why he killed the guy. Like, he tells them that was the one that killed Lamar, which it wasn't. And he took care of them, and he took care of the guy that killed Lamar, and hopefully they can find some peace with that. But yeah, like he's still an asshole. Like,
yeah,
how
yeah.
you
So
gonna
he's in
lie to some grieving parents? Like, goddamn, dude.
So he's in this court-martial. He's been kicked out of the military, despite his service record and everything else. He's outside now. The woman talking to him, I don't remember seeing her in anything else. I'm not sure exactly who she was.
She's his wife.
Oh, that's his wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's his wife.
And she's trying to comfort him, and a woman walks up. Now, this woman has a very long name that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, because I will get it wrong. We'll just call her Val. And if you're familiar with the comics, she's kind of like a female Nick Fury, but in the sense that she's a female Nick Fury for the wrong side.
Her name is Contessa Valentina Allegra Del Fontaine.
Del Fontaine, and she is played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus,
who is fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yes. She is just so cut and dry about. I'm gonna sit right between you guys. Anyways, what I was talking about, you know, she does a great
job. Shut up. I'm here to talk to him.
Right.
But if you're not familiar, who is Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine in the comics? So the article I'm gonna quote is on Google. It's from Polygon.com. It says, well, depending on when you ask this question, she's either an Italian jet setter turned longtime Shield Jason, or she is a major Marvel Comics character. She is Madam Hydra, which means that Hydra is still alive and kicking.
Hydra's always alive and kicking. Here's another confirmation from Slate.com. It is saying the same thing, that she is Madam Hydra. Madam Hydra is basically a female Nick Fury for Hydra.
She's the
everywhere and does everything, and she's smart and kicks ass.
yeah. So and now this character now, according to several outlets, nerd news outlets, she was supposed to be debuted in Black Widow when it came out. But due to pushbacks and everything else, her appearance was made first here.
Yep.
And so she's recruiting John and tells him, that Shield wasn't even government property to begin with.
It's kind of a legal gray area.
Yeah, it's kind of a legal gray area.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't. It wasn't government. It was Shield property.
Actually, if you want to get, because me and my family had this discussion, because my daughter was like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Well, technically, that Shield belongs to the Wakandans because it's vibranium." Now,
well, it could be. There's several people it really could belong to because
now if the Wakandans don't claim it, then it goes to the Stark family because Howard Stark was the one who made the Shield. Now, did he get it from the government and illegal, like the stolen vibranium? I don't know. I'm just saying we're just gonna go in this line of the. So,
yeah.
But they both gave it to Captain America, and even when Black Panther doesn't take it back. So it's Captain America's shield, right?
Shield.
And he gives it to Sam Wilson. And so it's technically it belongs to Sam Wilson.
Sam. Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
anyways,
it's a legal gray area on who it actually belongs to. Because it could have belonged to Shield because at the time that Howard made the Shield, he worked for Shield.
Yeah. But it belonged to but Captain America had it forever, right? It wasn't just a government issued weapon.
And at that time, really, Shield hadn't been made yet, technically.
Well, I mean, yeah, but for me, if all intents and purposes, it belongs to the Wakandans, and if they don't want to take it back, then
and that kind of and what you said, it really does kind of make really kind of stresses one of the scenes in the previous episode when the Dora Milaje attack. And she pops that shield up, and she's got it.
Yeah,
like she's gonna walk off with it.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna take it. I mean,
and she's
they have every right to take it.
We don't need it. Just leave it because they had every right because the vibranium belongs to Wakanda.
Yeah, vibranium comes from one place in the world, and that's Wakanda.
So anyhow, but and then that's going to lead into another scene at the we're about to get into.
Yeah.
Sam's trained with the shield. And everything else, they still at this point have no lead on Carly. So it comes the day of the big GRC summit that they're going to make this vote on whether or not to let the refugees back into their countries. And the GRC lead an attack on the Flag Smashers lead an attack on the GRC. They basically they're taking them hostage.
Yeah, they're at the meeting, and then like one of the, I guess, assumed GRC members swipes a card, and all the power goes out.
And he was one of the Flag Smashers because he goes one world, one people.
I mean, I meant Flag Smash, not GRC.
Yeah,
but yeah, he swiped his like security card into a panel, and then like all the power goes out, and that's kind of at the end. Like we don't get to see much more past that about.
Yeah, and then there's news conferences. Torres calls Sam, tells him, "Hey, you need to see this." Telling him that he saw the pings, right? That there's these pings that come up right before there's an attack by the Flag Smashers, and they've all been in Eastern Europe, but all of a sudden here's one in New York.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I don't think." He said they could be using a VPN and everything else. Well, Sam looks over the screen, and that's New York. Just happens to be where they're holding this GRC conference.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, I got this," and he walks over. You see him pull out the case, and he opens it up. And that's where it ends.
That's the end of the episode.
Roll credits. Well, then it's not done yet.
Yeah.
Because now we get to see Captain Asshole really become Captain Asshole.
Well, okay, so all right, hold on. And if we're giving everyone like the last minute to be the benefit of the doubt, even in his comic series, I mean, he becomes an asshole, but towards the end, like he actually becomes more heroic and more patriotic and
or he joins the Avengers Dark.
Yeah, well, I mean, but he does become a little more like not
He becomes
fully,
more of an anti-hero than a hero.
yes, but he does become better because I mean he's just Captain Asshole, and I don't think they're gonna do that with this character, like because we just love to hate him at this point.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, we
Captain
do.
Asshole, U.S. asshole, whatever you want to call
I know.
him.
But it was called for this point we'll call him by his comic book name. He is now on his journey to become U.S. agent,
Well, he already has the
and
yeah,
he is now building his own shield,
yeah.
um, and everything. So I'm guessing in the next episode we're not only going to get to see the new Captain America Sam Wilson Captain America, but we're also going to get to see U.S. agent.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends. And so we have not gotten any first looks for the next episode yet. So that's something to look forward to. I was really impressed with this episode. Really, really impressed.
I thought
It made
someone
me
was going to
emotional
die in
certain
this
scenes.
episode, like somebody important. My wife thought Bucky was going to die, and then she was going to riot in the streets. But yeah, I don't. I thought it was going to be heavier. I mean, the whole episode was pretty like. I mean, it was pretty rough. People died, and it's people dealing with that and how they're going to deal with that. Zemo
Yeah.
almost died. Like,
well, that to me was one of the most not the most powerful thing, but one of the most powerful scenes in this episode because it's basically Bucky going, "I'm not this person anymore.
yeah,
I am
that's
not
what I'm
a
saying.
hired
But
gun.
he could have
I'm
still.
not a killer."
Yeah, he could have so easily killed Zemo, like in a heartbeat. And Zemo actually tells him, like, I no longer, like, you're written out of my book. You're no longer a threat.
Yeah,
to
he
me."
says, I've
Yeah.
already scratched your name out, and I hope you hold no hard feelings for the things that I've done.
Yeah. Yeah, because he
Basically
tells
using
him, I
him
no
as a
longer
pawn.
want to kill you. And he's like, oh, I'm so thrilled. Like, he was like,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay, whatever. But it was a lot of emotional scenes in this episode. Sam wiping the shield, wiping the blood off the shield because the last physical thing of that is of Steve left, which we're not saying that Steve Rogers is dead.
Mm-mm.
And in the comics, he grows old, but he comes back.
Old man Cap.
Well, no, he comes back. They are actually. I was reading something where they were able to. And I can't remember which saga it said it was. They actually make him young again.
I know, but he does have a stint as Old Man Cap though, and he's still pretty badass as an old man too. Like,
yeah. Well, he's still got that super serum pumping through him.
Yeah.
But the last reminder of his best friend, has been sullied by being used to kill somebody. The scene with like I said, with Zemo and Bucky, the scene with Sam and Bucky talk, and Sam goes into that counselor mode. A lot of very powerful emotional scenes.
When he hands him the shield and he's like, "I'm sorry," that was pretty powerful too. Like,
yeah, he was like, "We did not know the impact that this would have had on you."
Yeah,
and we're sorry, but he's basically saying, "I'm sorry, but we didn't know what this meant." Steve did give you that shield because he knew something something else was in you, and that shield is meant for you. And even Sam says this still feels weird. This still, he's catching that shield. He's like, it still feels weird.
Yeah.
But he syncs with that shield in a way that no one else other than Steve has been able to sync with that shield.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you see the progression. I mean, and I'm telling you, it's once you see him fully like accept you'll be able to see it in his face, like, because Steve, from the moment like he got the super serum and they killed Erskine and he's chasing that dude down the street, he picks up the taxi cab shield with the taxi
door,
cab door with the star on it. Like, he was ready. He was ready to be Captain America. He was already ready to be that, because that's what Erskine. I mean, the whole thing about the super soldier serum and why Isaiah Bradley survived was because he's a good person. You could tell that he's a good person. It just makes you better. Everything that you are makes you. It makes it amplifies
It's
that.
personality. It's personality steroids. But I will say, like, I don't know if you caught the joke earlier that I texted you. But we were saying his shield is much smaller. I said, "Well, super serum,
Yeah.
so kind of like steroids. It makes the package smaller."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the USA. Yeah. So I don't know. We're gonna see. It's gonna be a big standoff. It's gonna be U.S.
This
agent.
is gonna be this is gonna be a battle to watch
I
because
don't
it's not
think.
just gonna be Sam versus John or Bucky and Sam versus John. It's gonna be Sam and Bucky versus John versus Carly.
And
You
I
know,
don't.
it's gonna be a free for all.
I
This
don't
is about
think.
to be a free for all.
I don't think we're done with Zemo yet either.
No, Zemo will be back.
Oh yeah.
Zemo will be back.
The
Uh,
the encourage encouraging thing is when they don't kill off a character. So
yeah,
Zemo will be coming back.
yeah, and any kind of comic book, movie, comic book, whatever, when a character's not killed off, you know they're coming back.
Yeah.
You
So-
know they're coming back.
But Zemo becomes kind of like an anti-hero kind of. He has his own little like villain supergroup, but they're not like wholly bad. But we got a lot of mentions of since we're coming up on the last episode, and we will have to wait for the next series to come out. But we're coming up on
Which
the
is
next.
Loki.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yes,
I'm excited
yes,
for
the
Loki.
return of Tom Hiddleston, and one of my favorite roles he does is Loki. I just love that smart mouth mother. I
You
love
love to
Loki.
hate him. I mean, you love to hate him. It's like Q on Star Trek. Like you can't. You just
Help but
love this
love.
guy and you hate him at the
Hate
same time.
at the same
Yeah.
time. Like you know, and
And it's the
Thor.
asshole Loki. Okay, it's not even like the Loki that progressed and he was like slowly like
No,
they were.
it's,
He was,
it's end of
Team-
Avengers.
yeah,
one.
it's the asshole Loki.
Asshole
So
Loki.
he's still
Not
full
even-
of arrogance
Not even
and
Loki
hate.
from Thor: The Dark World, where he's made that
Yeah.
started to make that progression, and that's one of my favorite scenes with Loki. And it is when Thor's breaking him out of the jail, and they're walking down, and he's like, he keeps shape shifting, and he shape shifts into Captain America.
Yeah.
He's like tights, you know. He's like, let's talk about pride, justice, country. You know?
Yeah.
Favorite scenes with Loki. But yeah, Loki is the next one, and do expect full reviews, spoiler filled reviews of
Oh
Loki.
yeah. Oh yeah. We'll be watching every week and going over the shows. I mean, anytime any nerdy movie comes out, any nerdy game comes out, that we're obviously money permitting that we get and we play, we'll be reviewing all that stuff. So
Oh yes.
it's just that it's just that Marvel is the one that's doing it right now. So we're
I was reading an article. Speaking of nerdy movies and stuff like that, Disney has got a lawsuit pressed against them on the Predator franchise.
oh why?
Well, being that Predator was property of 20th Century when it was sold, they got the rights to the Predator franchise,
Mm-hmm.
but fired everybody who had anything to do with it. So the guys who created Predator and everything else were let go.
Okay.
Now Disney is wanting to make a 5th Predator installment and basically cut these guys out of it,
Oh.
these creators.
Oh.
So Disney has now got a lawsuit pressed on them by these guys who created the Predator universe, for creative rights and stuff like that. I don't know all the details. I just was able to read a snippet of it. But yeah, Disney has a lawsuit pressed on them because of this.
Yeah,
So-
because it's like intellectual property and all that crazy. It's like a big
So yeah,
and
it's
it's
a
really
big.
big. Whatever the outcome is, it's really big for future deals being made like that. So if a studio buys a studio, another studio, and they get the movie rights, do they own all the? Like it's going to be a big deal about whatever
Oh
the
yeah,
movie might
it's
be.
what
so.
they can do,
Yeah.
what they can and be allowed to do with it.
Yeah.
So one of the things we'll be reviewing next week. Now, next Saturday we won't. We'll either be doing a Friday podcast or a Sunday podcast. Being Saturday, I again will not be here. I have a prior engagement. I am performing my cousin's wedding. Uh, so yeah, I took a dude. I found a Dudist wine and I sent it to her. I was like, "How's this look?" She's like, "That's good. I like it." I said, "Okay, cool.
All
Don't know
right,
what you're
deal.
asking. Whatever. The dude abides."
Right, the dude
Uh,
abides. There you go.
What's up, Raj? So we'll be either doing a Sunday or a Friday podcast. But one of the things that we'll be reviewing is on April 23rd next week. Mortal Kombat drops on HBO Max.
Okay.
I have been really, really looking forward to. Have you not seen the trailers or anything for this yet?
No.
Okay,
I will check out the
I
trailers.
figured out. What I'll do is I figured out the other day. So when I tried to show the Suicide Squad trailer, and it wasn't coming across on your stream,
That was your fault.
I found this. Oh, I found this out. So
Because
you were able to play.
I played the Star Trek preview the other night just fine.
So when it pops up on my screen, when it pops up in the Discord screen, it's going to come up the third, and it'll say "Start Stream,"
Yeah.
and you got to click on that.
Yeah.
So where's YouTube? Am going to play the Mortal Kombat theme or trailer.
Trailer. Don't play the theme, we'll get copyright strike.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat trailer 2021. Is this it? Yes, this is it. And I'm going to let me hold on a second.
Old man Steven trying to figure out technology. If it ain't a rock and a stick, he don't know what's going on.
I know. So let me hit share my screen. Go live, and you should see when it says start to stream.
Watch.
You should hit third. Watch stream. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so I'm gonna full screen that. Your stream is still okay. And we are going to play after this little ad right here. Get past this little ad. And we're going to play the Mortal Kombat trailer. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, turn the volume up. There you go.
First learned about this 7 years ago. On a mission in Brazil to capture a wanted fugitive. When we got there,
Sub-Zero.
Is that Sub-Zero? His suit looks green. I mean, I see the ice now, and there's Jax.
The Sonya Blade.
Oh, yeah.
It had the same marking you do, Cole.
It's a birthmark.
What do you mean?
He was born with it.
It's not a birthmark, Cole. It means you've been chosen.
Throughout history, different cultures all over the world reference a great tournament of champions. That dragon marking? I think it's an invitation.
Guess who that is?
To fight for something known.
Get over here.
Well, it says like 16th, but it's actually April 23rd.
That's Kano.
I'm Liu Kang.
Name's Jax.
Kung Lao.
Oh, wow.
Lord Raiden.
The fate of Earth is in our hands.
No matter how many of my people you put in the ground,
Melina.
kill them.
Smoke.
Oro?
Reptile. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You fucking beauty.
Kano? Nice.
So that drops. It says April 16th. That drops April 23rd.
Nice.
Mortal Kombat is my mortal enemy. My wife says she doesn't like Mortal Kombat because I buy these games and then I play them once and never play them again. I'm really excited for this movie to come out. I cannot wait. They did make Scorpion and Sub-Zero a little bit more bulkier than I would like, but that's going to be the Sub-Zero Scorpion fight that we've all just seen him splattering that blood, freezing it in midair, grabbing it and stabbing Scorpion with it.
Nice.
That's badass.
Yeah.
So we will. I gotta go back full screen with the window. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. There's not. I don't think we've really got much else. Do we want to take a couple more questions real quick? A couple more
We
Q&A.
can, yeah. If anyone's got any questions, I know that that Russell Crowe is going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder as a secret character because he was spotted. I read this the other day. He was spotted in Australia where they're filming it right now with Jeff Goldblum, who's already going to come back.
As the Grandmaster.
In Thor: Love and Thunder, and he was spotted with Russell Crowe. So it was confirmed Russell Crowe is going to play an anonymous character in the movie. So
maybe he's going to play Beta Ray Bill.
I doubt it. No. They've already got Beta Ray Bill, but they're not going to release who it is.
Okay. So I do have a question from Grounded for Life. She says, "What do you hate most about Marvel?"
What do I hate most about Marvel?
I'll let you start.
I don't know.
Let me grab it while you're doing this. I'm gonna grab a pack of cigarettes real quick.
Yeah.
I can still have the headphones on, so I can still hear you.
No.
Don't start. Don't be talking shit about DC. I'm listening.
Well, I mean, why beat a dead horse? I mean, it's already been said. So, that Marvel. I mean, it's like any comics. They get ridiculous with some of the storylines, and they do a lot of stupid things that I wish they wouldn't do. Like they did the Captain America as a Hydra agent. They did that.
The Spider-Man clone saga.
Yeah.
That's
Although
what I
the
hate.
Spider-Verse was pretty cool, but
The Spider-Verse was, so for me, what I hated was they beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
They really do. They beat a dead horse.
Yeah, they do.
And one of the things that I hated most was it was the story arcs.
Yeah. Some
now
of
the story
them are
arcs
fucking lame.
And for me, it was the Spider Clone Saga. And if you're not familiar with the Spider-Man comics, the Spider Clone Saga was they had gotten some of Peter's DNA and made a clone, but didn't just stop at one. My wife says Marvel equals cheesy costumes and lazy origin stories.
Negatory Ghost Rider.
Okay, no, you've got to, and even Stan Lee has admitted this. The X-Men were created out of laziness. He was like, he got tired of creating backstories and was just like, okay, they were just born with powers.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Spider-Man Clone Saga, they didn't just stop at one.
At that point, he created how much?
Yeah, at that point, he had created quite a bit. So, anyways, with the Spider-Man Clone Saga, it is a saga where they had made not just one Peter Parker clone; they had made several. There was bunches, but they didn't know about each other. One of the clones becomes very famous, which is Ben Reilly, who becomes the Scarlet Spider. He has a decent run in the comics. I don't think he's really around anymore. Or at least
in the Spider-Verse.
In the Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
but not in the main Marvel universe like he was. But then they're fighting this guy who's kidnapped Mary Jane. His name is Kane. Come to find out, he's a spider clone too. Like there's clones everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
That's
and
the
it was
problem.
just like,
that's the problem with clones, man. You can just keep some of the things that they do. Like, I mean, they just get ridiculous. So now there's a clone of a clone and a clone and this clone and we're fighting this clone.
It's that movie Multiplicity with a Spider-Man theme.
Yeah.
You just don't have the retarded Spider-Man.
Yeah, you do.
Ben Reilly. No. that's the thing that I hate the most about Marvel. Not maybe, is the story arcs. There's too many bad story arcs. Um,
They do a lot of hit and miss. They do.
yeah, and a lot of it's miss for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Some of it's good
they
though.
do have some that are amazing. A couple of my favorite story arcs are X-Men: The Age of Apocalypse,
Yeah.
where Legion goes back in time and kills Professor X, changing the entire. Just one event
Yeah.
changes the entire Marvel universe.
The
And my
House of M is really good.
that
That's
one's
where
good.
Scarlet Witch eliminates all mutants.
Mhm.
That one's really good.
And
Infinity
another one of my
War, which is where we get like the Infinity War.
Secret Wars, the Secret Invasion.
Wars is it, that's what the Russo brothers said they would come back and do, and I hope they push towards
The
Secret
Secret
Wars.
War, Civil War. Now, my other favorite Marvel story arc, and I know this is cheesy as hell, but it's the Marvel Zombies story
Yeah.
arc, and it is one of my favorites, just because they're not just these dumb limbering zombies; they're actually still themselves. They're just undead, and
Yeah.
they have to have it. And it was I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved it because with Ant-Man in that one, you really can't tell if you should hate him or like him because he's trying to find a cure using T'Challa,
Mhm.
but he's embracing his zombie side at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I don't know. So,
I got a question from the chat.
oh, okay.
It says,
How long-
so we found out that Isaiah Bradley's punishment began after he basically did what Steve did by going against his orders to save his fellow soldiers, which, yeah, is something we kind of glossed over. How do you feel about this reveal, and how do you feel about the fact that they
We're
put
almost
America's systematic racism into, they kind of built it into the to the show. I like it because it makes you deal with it, because either you remember these things, that these things happen, so we don't do them again.
repeat 'em.
Yeah, or we're just gonna repeat them. Like I really like that they. I don't like that the what they did to Isaiah Bradley, because he did the same thing Steve did. Was like, fuck
Yeah,
you, I'm gonna go
and I was
rescue these
thinking
guys.
that during that same scene, I was
Yeah.
thinking, I was like, Steve did the same exact thing. He went against orders, went in, rescued a bunch of POWs that they were just going to just
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
And so it really brings to light the things. And you've also got to remember at the time that this happened to Isaiah, and I'm not saying that the things that have completely changed since then, but it was a different time at that time also.
Yeah.
And you also got to remember, to be somebody of color during that time, you didn't have the same rights and privileges. You did technically, but actually you didn't have the same rights and privileges as somebody who is white.
Well, what
So it really brings to light
Oh.
the things that were going on at that time. So he disobeyed orders. What happened to him? He became a guinea pig.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was fixing. And what pisses me off is they experimented on him for the answer that's already been given. You know, like, why did it work on him? Erskine told him that, like, from the beginning. This is why the serum is going to work, because it takes you and makes you better. What if you're an asshole? It makes you more of an asshole. If you're a good guy, it makes you an even better person. Like, they don't learn their lessons, and that's part of that story too. They don't learn the lesson. The lesson is there, and they just don't listen. It's like no one explained it to them.
No one cared. No.
Yeah, they don't
And
care. Yeah, they just want to know how to make it work again into somebody else.
And what it does, especially with the character of Isaiah, and it's brought up in that scene, not so much said, but it's implied that it embeds those seeds of that racism and stuff like that are so much alive.
Yeah.
And the fact that he does the exact same, like we said, he does the exact same thing that Steve does.
Yeah.
and is given the total opposite
Treatment.
gets
Yeah.
treatment.
Steve was made a hero. He was made a villain for it. And
But it also embedded the seeds of racism in Isaiah because he said, I mean, he basically saying that Captain America is supposed to be a white guy.
yeah,
As he said, no self-respecting black man would take up the mantle of Captain America.
yeah,
Who would, basically saying that Captain America is for a white dude,
yeah,
and their self, they don't care about us as colored people. They just care about them,
yeah,
which is not the case. And it's going to be, that's good. That right there is going to be that it's not the case, as Captain America is going to be proven when Sam takes up the mantle.
yeah. Well, I mean, but it's the idea that it's inherently different. It's easier for Steve to become Captain America and be Captain America than it will ever be for Sam. And
Yeah.
that's just
Well-
the inherent truth of it. So
Well, my chat saying disobeying orders for the greater good has been the basis of all Marvel and DC movies in series. Yes and no, but the reason that they have these scenes like this is to show heroism in the face of authority.
Yeah.
That's why they put these scenes like this in movies and stuff, is to show heroism in the face of authority. It's not to show that you should rebel against authority. It's to show heroism, show strength in the face of authority. That's why they put them in there. That was a very that was a very powerful scene
yeah.
to be shown and be like, look, racism is still a thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in the world we live in now, it's still a thing. It's not as well until recently, and we won't get into all that stuff. I really don't like. I'm not very political, but
Yeah.
recent events has not been a very talked about thing.
Yeah.
And with stuff that's going on in the world, something like this needs to be seen.
Yeah.
It needs to be brought to light, because it was Winston Churchill that said, "Those who do not pay attention to the past are deemed to repeat it." And this is something that we constantly need to be reminded of, that these things happened,
And have happened, like,
have happened, are still and are still happening, because
Yeah.
we don't pay attention to what came before. I mean,
yeah,
it's-
no,
it's-
I think it was a really good ad. I
it was really good.
wasn't like
been there. It was-
appalled by
it
it
was-
or upset that they brought it in. I like the way they tied it in, and they made it a very clear and concise point. And
Yeah.
I thought it was excellent.
yeah,
I thought
and
it was so.
yeah, and it's high time that I cannot wait to see his grandson take up the mantle that he's going to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, well, we're running at 2.5 hours, guys. And I knew this was going to be a little bit longer tonight, so I do apologize for that. Baby, I'm sorry. I love you. I said I love you. Oh, you heard me? You don't love me no more? No, because I went a half hour over. I love you too. So, guys, we do appreciate y'all coming out again. We want to thank
Yes.
Cerebral. We want to thank Cerebral Asylums for coming out.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you, in the morning, you're going to have that email.
I think so.
You're going to have that email. We got him 250 followers. So let's give it up for Rex. It's about time. Let's
Well,
do it. Let's go, bro.
Well,
Let's go.
If yeah, so if I do get the email tomorrow or in the morning, we're gonna do something big tomorrow. So
We'll figure it out.
yeah,
If not, if we don't hear from it, I will be back on what's that, Saturday. I will be back on Monday.
either way, I'm gonna stream tomorrow at some point in time. So
Yeah. But I will be back Monday night, 7:30 to 8 o'clock ish, Monday night. So yeah, he got his 50 followers. He got his
Yep,
50
I
followers.
did.
We got him tonight. Yeah, we did. So congratulations on that, bro.
oh, thank
Congrats,
you, thank you.
congrats to Rasha on
Yeah,
the affiliation,
Rasha.
man. We are proud of you. You got it. I got it in 45. Well, his stream is not over yet. He's got to end his stream so they can get the statistics from tonight's stream.
Yeah.
It can take up to 24 hours sometimes to get that email.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
So,
not like
anyways,
hanging on it, but we'll see. If it comes,
Yeah, we'll
it
see.
comes. If not, I got a little more work to do. It's fine.
Yeah.
I've been working
So-
this far.
but again, like I said, congratulations to Rosh
Yeah.
on hitting that affiliation. We are proud of you, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, like I said, I will be back on Monday night, 7:30 to 8:30, around 7:30, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Don't know what I'm gonna play yet. Y'all check it out. And if you're following me and you haven't followed this guy over here yet, go follow him. And if you're following him and you're not following me yet,
Yeah.
what are you doing with your life? Get over here and follow me.
Right. Then you can catch the podcast on either one of our
One
streams.
of the channels. Yeah, I've got all the little things on mine.
We will get there. All right.
We
will
love you
get
too, Rasha, man. We love you too, man. My wife says Dickspur Phasmophobia Squad game.
there. Yeah. Oh
Oh,
my gosh. I can barely handle that game regular. Anyways,
Oh.
but I think that's a good end of the stream. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone that followed. I so much appreciate that. Thank you, Cerebral Asylum, for hanging out with us and chatting about what it means to be a streamer to him and all his fun little tips and tricks and all that. So I had a good time. But
I did too, man. This is one of the nights I look forward to is our podcast.
Yeah.
I get to hang out with my brother. He gets to hang out with his brother. It's for me. This is a lot of fun, and I get to really kind of nerd out.
Yeah.
I get to let your hit. You want me to hit you up? I'll try to, because after this, I belong to my wife. I may hit you up tomorrow. But anyways, I will be back. Like I said, I'll be back Monday night. And if you're on my chat, hang around. We'll do a raid right after this. So y'all guys take care. We'll see y'all later.
See you later. Stay